as we get ready to chop up the views and news of the globe here with the New Orleans Focus Scope. And don't forget, the way we like to hear from you is 504-582-9422. And of course, we say good morning to our people who are listening and visiting with us on our worldwide front porch via YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter on this travel Thursday morning. I hope you all are having a good start to your day. And I am not solo this morning. However, we will have some additions to what's happening this weekend. I hope that you all, again, are having a good start to your weekend. And yeah, it is Essence Festival weekend. Tonight is the kickoff party, and this morning is the event for the start of Essence. So we'll be sharing some information throughout the front porch to let you know what's going on with us here, and between the Superdome and the convention center. So for sure. And if you have some information to share in, of course, you can give us a call here, 504-582-9422. Good morning, Uncle Graylin.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? How you doing this morning,
I'm
dog?
doing well this morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing the best I can down here about a Ernest Memorial Convention Center for the start of the Welcome Press event this morning at 9:30 in the Great Hall. There are a few people on here right now. I'm actually standing outside because the reception inside ain't that great. But
Ah,
I wanted to let y'all know that we
got
will
you.
be here live at Essence at the press event this morning. We'll be checking in back and forth. We're going to get some live stuff, do some interviews, and I'll be checking in back and forth throughout the course of the show. Depending on if I can get through when I'm inside, I'm going to call straight, and if not, you got to wait a minute till I walk back outside.
That's quite all right. What's the traffic like down there?
Traffic's not bad this morning. I don't think, Essence is not officially set to start until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is well, I'm not saying I'm not saying that wrong. The concert series and everything is started, but this is an official Essence event. First time they've happened to welcome to the press to let them know the room has, of course, light bites and a little bit of live music. And, of course, there are going to be speakers from different aspects of both Essence and the city to talk about what's going on, to welcome the press. And I'll update you guys as we move through the day and let you know what's going on from down here at the Ernest N. Morial Convention Center for the 2025 Essence Festival right back here in our favorite city, Shreveport.
Not Shreveport.
I just wanted to make sure y'all was listening.
Not
Just wanted to make sure y'all was
Shreveport.
listening.
You
That's
know.
all. I know y'all be tuning me out sometimes. So there you go.
You know, sometimes, and I've been to conventions in Shreveport. It's not that it's not a lot of spaces you can go in Shreveport. Shreveport would love to have an event like this
So
in
I know
their
they
city,
would.
but
Casinos is basically, if you've got a penchant for casinos, you will
uh-huh.
do good up in that area. But I'm anti, so it wouldn't work for me. But I heard they got decent enough food, so I'd find a way to make it along.
Yeah. But you walk through the casino and you get to the end of the casino, you walking into Bossier City, so that's not really a whole lot of space for you to kind of meander through like we tend to do here in the city of New Orleans.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, we're looking forward to today to talking more about our guests, to getting them on the show with us. We're going to be setting everything up. So y'all stick and stay, man. I'm throwing it back to you guys, and I'm going to walk on in.
All right, Uncle Gray, have fun.
All right, kids.
All
See y'all
righty,
later.
later.
Bye-bye.
So you just heard Uncle Grayland is on location at the convention center for the press opening for Essence Festival, and he said traffic's not bad, and that's interesting. That traffic is not that high yet. We've been having some discourse and conversation about what's going on with Essence. I know Dr. Wyatt and Will had some conversation about what's happening with Essence, and I think we've had a little bit of conversation amid the discourse about the Sean Combs situation, and I have some more commentary to share with regard to some of the things that were shared and said on yesterday, I wanted to kind of sit with my feelings a little bit before I shared my complete and thought through thoughts. So anyway, we'll get to that at some point or another. But yeah, Essence by this time of year, Essence is typically like it's they come down, they land, converge upon the city, and there's a lot of traffic and a lot of buzz. And this year, I don't feel the electricity in the air as usual. And I'm curious, how I know some locals are like, forget Essence. I ain't really worried about it. But how y'all feeling about Essence this year? I know some people were complaining about the prices and whatnot, but yeah, let's delve into this because it's not lining up the way that I'm not feeling the same energy behind Essence, and they have not had a whole lot of buzz about it online. Even people who provide commentary online have not been speaking too much about Essence this year. So I'm curious about what it is, how y'all are feeling about that. And this year, the sponsors are Coca-Cola. They're the presenting sponsor. AT&T, L'Oreal Group, Target, Wells Fargo, and Penguin Random House joins the sponsors as a first time sponsor. So I'm really curious about how people are feeling about this year's Essence. 504-582-9422. Hey, her.
What up all day long, Kimber? How you be?
I be good. I had you on my mind yesterday, and I'm gonna let you get your thoughts out, and I'm gonna share with you some of my
Well,
thoughts.
well, I was there to support you yesterday,
I
so I don't
appreciate
want to
it.
get into it again. I think I threw enough shade at the guy yesterday, so today is all is forgiven, right?
You all was fine yesterday. This is the show where you air out and say what you feel. You say what was on
Exactly.
your heart. But yes.
So, but I want to give a guess at this travel Thursday based on the first song.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
So I know this song was played at a big event in this city.
Uh-huh.
I know the group was the major artist at the event in this city.
Uh-huh.
Also, that song was featured in a movie that was about the big event in this city.
Okay.
So I want to say we're going to Essence
Well, there we go. You got it. We don't even have to worry about that for the duration of the show. We're headed to Essence Fest. Of course, that is we have one half of our team already there at the convention center for the Essence kickoff. And I would that particular album,
right.
in Heartbreak, I was in 7th grade when it came out.
Well,
And
that's my favorite New Edition song too. So
I went to see them when they were on tour. That year it was Bobby Brown. That's when he became a solo artist. LB Shore and New Edition. And boy, did we have a time. We had a
well, I
really
gotta
good
run.
time.
I gotta run.
You gotta run? All
Yeah, I
right.
gotta run. Okay,
All right.
but thank you for taking my call. Do appreciate it,
Absolutely.
Kim.
Have a good one.
All right. All right. Bye bye.
Yes, indeed. Any heartbreak. That was a time, and it was after Bobby had come out with My Prerogative, the album My Prerogative. He was not the headliner of that tour, but he was definitely a highlight of the tour. And then LB Shore was also on that tour as well. So 1988 was when that album was released, and boy, we had a time. And it had quite a few songs that had quite a few songs that charted. Of course, If It Isn't Love, Any Heartbreak, Crucial, You're Not My Kind of Girl, Can You Stand the Rain, Boys to Men. Those are just a few of the songs off that album that you could hear on rotation on the airwaves. So shout out to New Edition. That was really fun. Joshua, you know what? You ain't nothing. We love you, but you ain't nothing. Um, let's see. Mark says you never seen New Edition in concert. Oh, baby. I started seeing New Edition in elementary school. I remember, I will never forget this as long as I live. I want to say it was the Candy Girl album, and that concert was at the UNO Lakefront Arena. They brought Bobby Brown to the concert in a police car, and we didn't know all of the things that were going on in Bobby's life at the time. But for NOPD to be bringing him to the concert venue, we should have known something. But no, New Edition gives a hell of a show, and they still are giving a great show now. Bobby's dropped a couple of pounds. I mean, he's still breathing hard on stage, but they still doing their thing, still touring and still getting along right now. We will enjoy them as long as we can. And then let's see. Josh says, "Good morning." And Black Folks National Barbecue Weekend, there will be the barbecue sandals worn by 40-plus-year-old men. There will be plenty of check cold drinks. Flies will be sleeping on their backs come Monday from this weekend. There will be older Black women looking at half-dressed young women saying, "Fast little behind, little girl." Yeah, listen, we're gonna stop body shaming and clothes shaming little children and girls, because they not fast. Men are creepy. At any rate, we're gonna take this break, y'all. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about. All
That's right. It's party time each and every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on WBOK. It's the Throwback Throwdown with DJ Wick as he brings you the best in old school from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and the early 2Ks. Plus, the party goes to another level at 9 p.m. with the Throwback Throwdown Party Mix to round out the night. It's the Throwback Throwdown Sunday nights at 7 p.m. on WBOK and on the World Wide Web at WBOK1230.com.
Good morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Leaders of some of the summer camp sites forced to close because of non-payments have received some of the money they were owed. The camps were forced to end early, impacting hundreds of campgoers. The camps were sponsored by Lee Anderson, the stepdad of Pelicans player Zion Williamson. Bricolage says they received a check yesterday for 2 of the 3 weeks they were owed. Anderson says he also gave a check yesterday to Dryads YMCA. Leaders at Hangout NOLA say they were told they would be paid sometime today. And today, we expect to get more information on that gruesome stabbing incident that took place near the Walmart on Chapatulas last month. Today, the NOPD says they will release body camera video of the incident when an alleged shoplifter, suspect, stabbed himself to death on Jackson Avenue. And the Essence Festival of Culture officially kicks off today with hundreds of thousands of visitors making their way to the Crescent City. And local leaders say they will be safe in our city. Barricades and barriers are some safety measures visitors will see during the crowded weekend. New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick says there will also be increased staffing during the weekend. This comes on the heels of the New Year's Day terror attack and most recently a high-profile jail escape. Kirkpatrick promised resources will not be tied up as they work with state and federal partners. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Welcome to Chemical of the Month by the community scientists at Rise St. James. This month, we spotlight phthalates, chemicals added to plastics, especially PVC, to make them more flexible and durable. But there's more. Research shows phthalates may disrupt hormones, affect reproductive health, and contribute to environmental pollution impacting our communities. Join us as we explore how these additives shape our everyday lives and the world around us. For more details, visit risestjames.org. Empower your knowledge with Rise.
Profiles with Wendell Pierce is brought to you by the National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the Whole Water Store, Pastor David Impartan Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and on the other side of the glass, we got a whole lot of people still, even as we have sent Nyron off to the convention center in order to make room for Graylin to be able to share some of the things that are happening down at the convention center. And of course, today is the opening to the press for Essence Fest 2025. And I'm curious how many people are going. I know I'll be going for work, and we'll be there on Radio Row tomorrow while during the Front Porch. So for those of you all who think that we're not going to be on air tomorrow, at least the Front Porch will be on air tomorrow, broadcasting from Radio Row at the Convention Center. And you may hear a couple of things from us at the Superdome as well, because we've gotten some access to those spaces, which is pretty fun and exciting to think about, especially knowing who we have in the lineup. But yeah, I'm curious. Y'all, how y'all feeling about Essence this year? I know that, or having conversations with Dr. Wyatt before she left, was the fact that Target was one of the sponsors, and Jamal Bryant, along with, it wasn't Jasmine Crockett. It was another government. No, not government, but another person who is activated for social justice. Tamiki is gonna come to me. They made an announcement and admonishing Essence for partnering with Target, and we know that we have impacted Target's business by billions of dollars, so much so that they had to reduce the salary of the CEO because people are not going into Target. So there's that. And I know Walmart had been a sponsor for quite a few years at Essence, but with Target being the official retail partner, how y'all feeling about that? I'm curious. Tamika Mallory. Thank you, Cam. I knew somebody would know. I'm going to go through some of these comments. Melody said that I hate when women do that. I didn't like it when I was young, and I'm mindful not to body shame us as well. And she's speaking about the comments about here come that fast tail little girl. Young girls develop at different rates, and I do have an idea of modest wear for myself and for my own daughter. However, some kids develop at a different rate, and calling me fast because older men are looking at those young girls. No, those old dudes are creepy and potential pedophilic. So call a thing and stop putting the responsibility on young girls and young women, because men tend not to have self control. Um, and Josh says, Bob only dancing for full songs now. I still remember the clip of Bobby Brown dancing at an award show and he dropped his goodie bag on the floor. I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Cam says, Essence can have it. And Mark said, I'm going to a couple of daytime events, but I'm not doing any of the concerts. Yeah, ticket sales are down. Ticket sales are down for sure. And I don't know where the idea of partnering with Target came about, but there's definitely been a shift since Susan Taylor stepped back from being the lead at Essence, and we're starting to see some things that the community is saying we rather not be bothered with it, and I'm not mad at it. I like to see people express how they feel with their money because that is definitely a way to let people know I'm not dealing with it. 504-582-9422. What up, Josh?
Good morning, Kim. Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you this morning?
You good? Brother then left you hanging again, huh? That boy, that.
He's on the job. He's just not in the building. Don't do him.
Yeah, he's doing a sacrifice like he always say. I'm sacrificing for the love of our porch people, indulging on all this goodness because of you guys.
He definitely is right now because that parking around the convention center around this time is trash. I don't care what
Who's
time of
parking and why you
year
just don't
it
take an
is.
Uber?
Say
Take
again.
an Uber. Just take an Uber.
I mean, he could, but either way, it's just congestion down there, and I guess it had been a while since I had been down to the convention center. I hadn't realized they had gone from 2 lanes on each side to one. I hate that. I hate that for sure because that traffic is terrible.
I wonder if they had those autonomous cars out in New Orleans right now. This would be a good time to display them.
I don't know if we have them here, but I know that in places that they do have them, the people are uh, causing damage to the cars. Like they are,
Hey, listen.
they're 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 breaking up the cars or like
people go people. People go people.
because they don't want that. They don't want it in the city, so they're causing damage to the cars.
It don't have to be a problem. People go people. They just got to vandalize stuff. Like I could ride up the interstate and see someone that tag a building or tag the sign for no apparent reason. So it is what it is. But I like how you flip that on us. That we ain't looking at them little girls like that to make them women to say what they said. They said that before we even look at them.
In fact, though, women do, and women and older men do that. Oh, she's some fast, and it's like
no,
she's
men,
some
men don't
fast.
do it. So we saying, I know me. I don't know about other people. I know. I just stay in my place. I don't do it. I don't call them fast.
I've heard women say it, and I have, as a young person, I developed early in certain areas, and I wasn't called fast, but people would call attention to the fact that my body didn't look what they thought my age body should look like. And
but they're not.
That's
creepy. Them other women ain't talking about you. Them other women talking about you. They talking about the other young ladies that was wearing back in the days those giddy girl shorts and their butt cheeks hanging out the bottom. That's what he was talking about.
Not necessarily, though. Not necessarily. I don't know so much about it. Was just like the people who dressed a certain way. People have opinions and policing young women's bodies that causes a whole lot of body insecurities. And the long and short of it is that we all not built the same. We all not shaped up the same.
Sure.
And make peace with that. But that's not I didn't make myself, and the young people didn't make themselves.
Don't throw this on older dudes. Now we perv. I ain't gonna lie about that. We are that. We are that. We don't make you say the things you say about when you see a fellow female young lady. And they were fast girls. I remember I was about 13 years old. Our neighborhood would do a trip to Fontainebleau over the summer. And man, this one young lady in the neighborhood came out in a two-piece red bikini, skippy.
Okay.
And if I'm 13, she had to probably be about 11 or 12. and she don't know how to upkeep the bush around that
Oh
area.
my God, Josh.
So all that was showing. Boy, them old lady was so mad, boy. They was mad. But us young boys, I don't think I ever came above the water.
Oh,
I don't
Lord.
think I came above the water that summer.
Josh.
I just stayed down there looking.
And now, okay, instead of saying that she was fast, that was an opportunity for one of them young women to have a conversation with her about upkeep. And again, that's
I
not
wonder
her.
if they did
Who
that.
bought that? Who bought
Wonder if
that?
they did that later on
Who
in that
bought
day.
that
Because I don't think
bathing suit for her?
it was for her.
Who bought it though?
I don't know. You asked that girl, mama. I don't know.
And so why does she get the label as fast? You see what I'm
Because
saying? You see what you just
I
did
get
there?
what you're saying. I know it could be misconceived as being
So
fast.
then she gets the label, but who bought it?
I have no idea. Like
All right, we
I don't
can't we
know.
can't put that we
I
cannot put
told
that
you I
on that
spent that
girl.
whole trip. I told you I spent that whole trip underneath the water.
My goodness
So I don't know. I
gracious.
don't know who bought it, but I'm glad they did. I tell you what, that's what I was. I was very glad that they did. And
Get
then
off my
we
phone, Josh. We
we talked about that the whole ride back across that causeway.
get off my
Then we
phone.
got the neighborhood. Talked about it
Goodbye.
too.
I will
All
talk
right.
to you later. Uh now here we go. And today I got time and I got words and language to share today. I'm gonna read these comments and then we're gonna go and talk about what y'all saying. Mark says, y'all talking about young girls. What about the older women dressing inappropriately? Just because it comes in your size doesn't mean you should wear it. That goes for men too. Well, I'm glad you added, and that goes for men too. Because if you're 70 years old, have cornrows in your head, and wearing one pants leg up, sir, please go fill out your Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security information for your monthly check and get out my face with that, okay? Please and thank you. Um, but yeah, people do people stuff. Monty said, back in my day, if a girl hair was dyed red and she had tattoos, most of them were fast and easy. Can you confirm that, or was that something you were told? And see, this is what I'm talking about right here, because my hair is dyed red, and I definitely have tattoos. So, what you saying, sir? Can you confirm that they were fast and easy, or is that something that somebody said to you that you cannot confirm about whether or not they were fast and easy? It's another get out my face with that foolishness. Oh, I was so close to cursing yesterday. Y'all have no idea. However, I need y'all to get y'all lives together. Uh, Cam says, Josh, you sure got a detailed description of that young lady, right? It seems like that young lady left an impression upon him. And if she had gold teeth, and again, Monty, what about these men who have gold teeth? What you saying? Other than the fact that they might smell like hot foil, what are you saying, sir? What are you saying? Get your life together. Uh, my goodness. Yes, the 70 year. You saying take my word, but I want to know, did you smash? Could you smash? Or did she tell you get up out of face? That's what I'm curious about. Because talking about somebody being fast, unless you can confirm that you actually had a visit there, sir, mind your own genitals. 504-582-9422. Hey, George.
Man, you wrong.
Am I wrong?
You wrong, Miss Kimber Dupree,
Am
talking
I
about old
wrong?
people with their cornrows and their pants legs rolled up.
Yeah, no, thank you. Sir, go
You
see
is
about
wrong,
yourself.
wrong, wrong for that. You
Make
see,
sure.
that's old people or something. How you gonna tell Pop that he ain't got no business looking like he think he wanna feel like he feel?
All I'm saying is if you're looking at a child and going, ooh, I can't wait to get some of that, you're a creep.
Oh, wait a minute. Talking about looking at a child. You just messed me up.
Yeah,
That ain't what you
he was
said.
talking about a teenager, not a grown person. No, we talking
Oh,
about
no.
a teenager. We
That,
talking about
that's
adults looking at
nasty.
children, you're a creep.
That's nasty. That's what that is.
Exactly, it is. For men or women who look at children and go, ooh, you are a
You
danger
know,
to the
that's just,
community.
that's just, that's just nasty.
It
That's
is.
somebody. I don't even understand that. I mean, the one thing that to think that you are animal or something. But when you old up in your life, You ain't got no business molesting little children.
Yes, not at all. Not at
You ain't got,
all.
but I'm taking issue with you talking about the brother with the cornrows. I know I ain't trying to divert your conversation, and he had his pants leg rolled up, and you talking about miss me. I can see how you feel that way, but like I'm like all of my life growing locks. I'm growing dreads. You know what I'm
But you don't have I have met you, Mr.
saying?
George. I know what you look like, and as my daddy would say, you not a hipty dipty man of a certain age trying to be on the hip hop cover of geriatric the source magazine. That's not you. I've met you. I've seen you. We've had many conversations. You dress what is appropriate for your age. Do you not? You're not sagging your pants, are you?
Every now and then I roll one leg a little high. You know what I'm saying?
Was it because you forgot to put it down, or was that on purpose?
It was probably because I was like, every now and then I do put my shoes on the wrong feet too. I was embarrassed the other day with that. I was surprised I could still put my feet in the wrong shoes. Don't even say that.
And see that again still makes my point, Mr. George. I have met you. I have come had several conversations with you. I would not categorize you as the old man still trying to hang out with the kids on the high school yard. Thank God you
No,
are not
that ain't
him.
never gonna happen.
That is not you.
Only if I'm hanging out there, I'm trying to disperse them some wisdom. Like, man, look, better learn to read while you
Yes.
here.
Yes.
But as far as that child, and I remember in my life there were like young girls who blossomed out real early, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and a couple of them even were married. And their parents were all about it. I'm like, these girls were like 14, 15 years old
Yes.
and older men, but I think the confusion sometimes, well, that ain't confusion because it's just animalistic, but sometimes the confusion is we forget where our history of people come from, where they married off young girls early and this, that, and the other, but that ain't got nothing to do with being nasty and being predator.
Thank you. Thank you.
That I think that's where the point of that conversation is. And I just called to pick with you a little bit this
That's
morning.
okay. It's all love. Whenever I see you for sure, and I know you in the very least, if you don't understand what it is, you'll listen before you give commentary. But I love you.
Hey, and I'm loving the show this morning. Y'all keep doing what you do, because if I ain't listening to Kimber Duke Free and Mr. Grill and Burn Banks on the front porch, I'm going to be sitting on the back porch too. It don't matter which porch I'm on.
Yes, indeed.
WBOK, 12:30 a.m. on your radio, on my cell phone, on my computer, next door at my neighbor house, driving down the street in my car. If I ain't listening to the front porch, I'm missing out on a whole lot of stuff that I need to know.
Yeah, you're right. All right, Mr. George. Well, you have
All
a
right, have
great
fun now.
Thursday. We'll talk to you later.
All right, man.
Later. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Appropriateness for people. We can talk about that, but characterizing just girls as fast. What about these fast tail boys? They exist. Monty, I have questions about a lot of your commentary from yesterday, but I'm gonna walk that slow. Yeah. Shannon Swift says, sick of seeing crotches and cheeks all over the place and the crack of men's behind too. Absolutely. I don't want to see plumber butts. I don't want to see no plumber butts. The plumbers have the tools on their belt and you always see the crack of their behind. Thanks, but no thanks. I would not like to get invited to seeing the parts of your body I did not request to see. Um Mark says, Kimber, there's an old guy that I come in contact with every day. He has cornrows, fake rings on every finger, fake chains, and Jordans. Every time I see him, the first thing that comes to my mind is ghetto. No, the first thing that comes to my mind is old child, because at some point they missed an area of maturity. They got to some point where it's just like yeah, you obviously didn't keep up with the rest of the class and you stayed behind, and your appearance shows it for real. Just way too much. Way too much. Y'all are hilarious. Um Yeah, when we talk about demonizing kids and people in general, to the people outside of the black community, um, black girls are fast and black boys are violent. And there's something to be said about dissecting the miscommunication or the untruth about that. Black boys, black people can be violent. Girls can be fast, but also boys as well. So that's a human thing. And the fact that even people in our community attribute those behaviors to kids in our community that we say that we want to uplift is counterproductive. And changing the language is very important about how we cast narrations about the children or just the people in our community. We got to do better. We got to make some better choices. Um, for real, we really do have to make uh, some better choices in how we speak about and speak to the people, especially the youth in our community. And not saying that there's no some unlearning that has to be done. There's plenty of unlearning that has to be done. I love the fact that with our interns, all of them have natural hair. That for me is a highlight, a deprogramming of needing to assimilate into white culture by straightening their hair. I love that. I love that because 30 years ago, 31 years ago, for the most part, you might have had one person, particularly in the girls, in the group of girls, maybe one girl may have had natural hair out of all the people that you hang around. But I'm looking right now into the faces of the young people, and we got braids, we got locks, we got froze. I love it. I love to see it because that is how their hair grows out of their head, and that doesn't have any determination on whether or not they are professional or can manage the job just because their hair doesn't look like white people or assimilated to white people's hair. But we're going to talk a little bit more as we continue on the front porch on today's Travel Thursday. We have arrived at Essence. Thanks to Herm for giving us that information. But stay tuned right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's a hot and mostly dry Thursday with highs in the low to mid-90s and feels like temperatures near 100. A few scattered showers and storms are possible for the afternoon. For the 4th of July and this weekend, expect typical summer heat with highs in the 90s and a few pop-up storms each afternoon, but not expecting a washout for the fireworks. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
Missed a show? Want to hear that guest everyone's talking about? WBOK is now streaming on all your favorite podcast apps. Just search WBOK Media, hit download, share with a friend, and don't forget to rate your favorite shows 5 stars. Because when our voices are heard, our impact grows.
Get ready, New Orleans. Join us for the inaugural Bless 26 Golf Classic, July 5th at Joe Bartholomew Golf Course, 6514 Congress Drive. It's a 4-man scramble format with a 9 a.m. shotgun start. Enjoy great food, music, and a chance to win a brand new car. Register now at bless26.ticketspice.com. Save the date, Saturday, July 5th for the Bless 26 Golf Classic at Joe Bartholomew Golf Course. For more information, please call 504-284-9985. See ya on the green.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and on the other side of the glass, I think we have Mason. I think. All right, yeah. It's a lot of names. I have not gotten them all down yet. I'm working on it. Normally, when I am teaching, it takes me about 2 weeks for me to get the names of the kids. So same thing here. It's gonna take me a while for me to get all the names because it's a rotating section of people who are at the board. Thanks to I think is it youth workforce that you all are with this summer? Youth workforce, and thanks to youth workforce, we have I want to say 5 students who are here that are interning with us or working with us this summer, and then also we have 3 additional interns that are learning about print media, about media online, and production as well. So I'm really excited to have these young, inspiring faces who are eagerly learning the ins and outs on how to run a radio station. So shout out to y'all for getting in this thing. But yeah, uh, back to these comments. When we're talking about the the thing about people calling young girls fast, and I take a bit of offense and umbrage when it comes to people labeling our youth with things without thinking about the impact, the long-standing impacts, and the ripple effect of the implications that come along with it. Um, if you're saying that somebody's fast because of how they dressed, that says it really speaks more to you about you rather than that person. And I'm not saying that fast young people don't exist at all. I'm not saying that people don't get interested in certain behaviors, but you could be called fast for being flip at the mouth. And no, 9 times out of 10, when people were calling somebody fast, they were attributed to being uh, sexually ahead of themselves, or at least that's what I understood the implication of being called fast was. And being smart at the mouth or being smart or clever, I don't understand how that equates to being fast sexually. And it was said, it was always said with a connotation of it being an insult, which it is. And so for people who like, and people, not just older women, but when older women tend to be the ones who lean into that, it's not okay. Black girls are not fast and black boys are not violent. People can be fast and people can be violent, and but just to put the label or attach blackness or youth to that idea is it's injurious, and we gotta stop doing that for real. But back to these clothes. Mark says, my pants sag a little sometimes, but it's not on purpose. He said he got a pancake butt and it's hard to keep them up. And I get that. So you got to make sure that your belt is buckled at the right notch so that we don't get your plumber butt. We would not like to see your behind. Please and thank you. Um, and Josh says, I was fast from the age of 12 till now. I need to put my ways down at some point. Listen, you are who you are. You know who you are. And that's, you know, I don't begrudge people or have an issue with people who like what they like. I have said since I've been on air that my big issue with people and their sexuality, don't have sex with children and don't have sex with people who can't give consent. And you can't give consent if you are under the influence of alcohol, drugs, um, or even just tired out of your mind where you can't give consent. If that person, you wouldn't trust them to sign a contract for you, you shouldn't be trying to hunch them. And don't have sex with children because they definitely cannot give consent. So for real, that is that's what my biggest issue about people being I guess enjoying the people that they like. If you are queer, enjoy yourself. Same rules apply. Don't have sex with people who are children because they can't give consent, and don't have people who are under the influence and can't. If you would not put a contract for them to sign for you in front of them at that time, don't have sex with them. Not okay. For real. It's just that's where I draw the line. And as we have talked about the Puffy case and the verdict, I saw that his bail was denied. I know Grayling yesterday had spoken of that he thought that he would be leaving jail soon. Well, the judge said, no, you're gonna sit tight till October when sentencing is based on what has been uncovered, confirmed, and that you have admitted to. You gonna sit tight for a little while. But the way people have looked at that case, even the commentary on yesterday, um, I gave some explanation or I gave some context about how women are viewed and what it bothers me about how people viewed this case. Sean Combs is wealthy. Sean Combs is famous. Um, but Sean Combs is also abusive and violent. Now, does that say that about all black men? Absolutely not. I would never attach that label to black men. Um, and Sean Combs is a criminal, not because somebody was trying to take him down, but because he engaged in criminal activity. Um, this is not um, an opportunity to just harangue him as a person because I don't know him, but based on his behavior, what I do know, he's into some freaky stuff. And the freaky stuff he's into, if he's participating in such things with people who are willing, I don't have no problem with that. But we saw the video where he chased someone who was trying to get away from him. He hit her, he kicked her, he threw a vase at her, and he drug her by her hair. That's violence. And when Reverend Wallace called yesterday, I listened before I responded. Reverend Wallace, you were one of the people why I have stepped back from the church because you have supported people being in violent situations and then telling them that they desired to be treated that way because there was something for them to gain. In that particular moment, that lady was trying to get away from Sean Combs. And you, along with some other pastors, which again is why I have stepped back from the church, because I've heard a lot of things that I don't agree with, and I'm not on a crusade to get other people to follow my actions and stepping back. But these are conversations that pastors have had with women who have been abused by their husbands. Um, and that's a problem for me. You're telling somebody to stay in a situation um, because they are putting you up in a place, or taking care of bills for you. You be all right, just pray through it. They just slapped you, they just punched you, basically telling you that it's okay for you to accept that abuse. And you are somebody who is unsafe to women and to girls, and you are someone who is sharing a bad representation on what young men should be doing. So there's more conversation and more pieces that I have to share, because I really sat with that on yesterday, and I didn't want to just go off the rails with how I felt. I wanted to think about what it was that I wanted to say, that I could stand behind and not just speak emotionally about it. But we're going to continue with this on the other side of the break. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with New Orleans Public Schools and the Cowell Institute, are excited to announce the launch of a new digital tool on the data dashboard. New Orleans Public Schools, 20 years later, a timeline of recovery, transformation, and growth. The tool provides data, information, and context on the past 20 years of K-12 education in New Orleans, the changes that occurred, and the outcomes these changes helped produce. Visit nolapublicschools.com/K20 to view the tool and learn more.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says he'll consider prosecuting former Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, accusing him of enabling illegal immigration.
Was he given a pardon, Mayorkas? Was he not?
I don't believe so.
Well, I'd take a look at that.
Trump made the comments while touring Florida's new detention center. Black Maryland Governor Wes Moore slammed the Senate's passage of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, calling it heartless. He warns it could strip health coverage from 200,000 Marylanders and gut rural housing funding. House Republicans are still working on a final vote for the massive bill, which is expected to happen soon. And reactions continue to pour in after Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty of transporting women for prostitution. Cassie Ventura's lawyer, Doug Wigdor, praised her courage, while Aubrey O'Day, formerly of Danity Kane, said the verdict made her nauseous. 50 Cent reacted bluntly, saying, "Diddy beat the feds." Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and on the other side of the glass, that was Mason that was bringing us back. And it is Thursday, Travel Thursday. Herm let us know that we are traveling to Essence. Of course, today is the press kickoff for Essence 2025, and Grayland, you'll be hearing from him shortly because we'll have some interviews at the convention center on today, but also we'll be on Radio Row as usual at the convention center tomorrow. So if you were thinking that we were gonna be off the air, the front porch will definitely be on the job for you at Essence 2025. 504-582-9422. Good morning, Dion.
Hey, good morning, Queen. How you doing this
I'm
morning?
well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I just wanted to call in. I really appreciate. I agree with everything you said before the break, and I really appreciated you stating the fact that all black men aren't into what Diddy has done from a abusive standpoint. A man like Diddy, when it comes to abusing women like that, he needs to be taken away from the community. When they showed that video of him chasing the young lady down the hallway, kicking, punching, throwing stuff at her, no one, pastor, teacher, there's no excuse for defending. I don't care how angry he got. I don't care what she said, didn't say, did, or there's no room and no excuse for something like that. Concerning what, and I forget the pastor's name, but
Reverend Wallace.
Reverend Wallace. Okay, there's a phrase out there called church hurt, which I do understand. You know who was the greatest victim of church hurt? Jesus Christ, because he was killed by the Pharisees and Sadducees. I still love him. I do go to church, but there are people out there who, for whatever reason, has this warped sense of what men and women, especially in relationships, how we should be. And I have never understood a man, a pastor, a leader, or however way you want to frame it, advising a woman to stay in a relationship where she is literally getting her brains beat out. I never understood that. I never will understand that. I will never accept that. And I don't know the background of Reverend Wallace, but Jesus also said we should know them by their fruit. And people let you know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They let you know either verbally or non-verbally. They let you know, and it's up to us to observe and discern and to move a certain way. And so, but nah, man, no woman or man. If a man is being abused, I mean, no one should be in a relationship. And I know there's codependencies. I know there's trauma where people react a certain way or they tend to hold on. Or when people are being traumatized, it's one of those things. It's unexplainable at times why certain people stay in certain situations. But there's never an excuse to abuse somebody, especially like that. So I just wanted to call in.
All right. Thank you so much, Dion. Have a good one. All
You
right.
too.
So there's a comment. I'm going to read it, and I also have a response for it. But as we're talking about the verdict and also talking about the punishment, people oftentimes get into, but what about what the white man did? What about the white man? I don't give a flying jellyfish fart about what white men do to white people. I'm talking about the black people who cause harm to us. And I'm saying black people because it's not just black men who have caused us harm, but I'm not going to rally behind anybody just because you're black and you're doing things to us. If you got over on the system, I mean, oops, you got over on the system. But if you are doing things and getting over on us, absolutely, absolutely not. So there was a comment in that says, I'm not a fan of Combs. I probably never will be, but I know the playbook when it comes to the dehumanization of black men, especially those with wealth, reach, and the audacity not to shrink themselves. Don't get it twisted. Sean Combs may very well be a jerk, a reckless exploiter of his own fame and fortune, but in the pantheon of arrogance, he's a lightweight compared to the long line of white men who've exploited him, profited from him, and will never face a fraction of the scrutiny or consequences he has. The truth is, he's being punished not just for what he's done, but for being too rich, too influential, and too unbothered for their comfort. Diddy is black, male, and arrogant, so he should die in prison. What the hell? These are among the sentiments I've seen if arrogance were really a crime. Half of the people running this country, including Donald Trump, would be serving life sentences. Trump has committed actual documented offenses and somehow still managed to become president. And again, I stand by what I said. I don't give a flying jellyfish fart about what white people do to white people and to people in their community, but black men who cause harm to our community are not above being held accountable. The comparison of white offense should not be in discussion when speaking about black men or people who hurt us. Point blank, period. I don't care about what happens in those communities because I'm not a part of those communities. And what he did to not just one, there's been documented evidence of him abusing and causing harm to black women as far back as when he was at Howard. So miss me again with that bull Swiss. He is violent. He's a violent person. He happens to be black because I'm not giving the narrative that black men are violent and black women are just some tools to be used for sex. Absolutely not. But he is and has been out of pocket. What those other people are doing, let them other people deal with him. But when you start doing stuff to us in our community, I don't care what you look like. Blue, black, and I'm holding you at a higher regard when you look like us and cause us harm. Period. Point blank. And I don't take a step and walk in that back at all. At all. And I don't compare. I know the rules yesterday. I said that. I know the rules yesterday. The laws are supposed to apply to all, but how they are applied to different people are different for sure. They are different. And that's unfortunate that they are different. But what I'm saying to you is this. He caused harm to people that look like us, not just a few people, many people. And so just because he has wealth, he has influence, he has the arrogance, all of that I'm fine with. All of that I'm fine with. But when you cause harm to people that look like us, I have a problem with you. And for those of you who can let it slide, I also have a problem with you. So that's that on that. 504-582-9422. Hey, Uncle Graylin.
Hey, what's happening, y'all?
And how you do?
Man, it's pretty good. The press conference is effectively done. The welcome, the mayor just spoke, did a very heartfelt welcome. She did real good. A couple other folks, executives from Coca-Cola and executives from Essence, celebrating. I think Coca-Cola has a 31-year partnership with Essence. Y'all been drinking Coke and dancing. You understand? So it's been going together really, really well. This was a very nice event, and it's still going on. There's a DJ, there's interviews going on. So folks are actually trying to get together at this point. But so far, so good. A very, very auspicious kickoff to the Essence Festival right here at the Ernest N. Morial Convention Center. What's going on over there with y'all?
At the Rivergate.
At the Rivergate.
Yeah,
we're over here a little bit further down from the Rivergate.
Okay.
And just let me point out, I understand because I stay tuned, and when you mention my name, as mentioned before 3 times, I pop up, and you can let Josh know that, yes, I do sacrifice my health. I'm down here maskless, in the midst of everything going on, putting my health on the line for our Front Porch viewers. Now, everybody can't be a hero like me, Josh. You just got to understand that. I'm cut from a different cloth, but just point it out. Don't be mad about it. You understand?
And enjoy the feedback for sure. So
enjoy the feedback.
For what I understand, you're gonna have some people that you're gonna have a chance to talk to before the things. The full things kick off tomorrow, because some people off tomorrow, we not.
We're not, of course not. Listen. I'm trying to maintain my professionalism. What is that? What are you talking about? My mother talked about me having to work twice on Juneteenth, so I know
Yeah,
Of course
yeah.
we
We'll,
work
we'll still we'll
tomorrow
still be sacrificing the time off that you all will
for the
have. We
time.
won't be having it off, but from what I understand, you're gonna have some people that you're gonna have a chance to talk to
Yes.
about what people can expect at the convention center and maybe even at the Superdome as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I need one of you all as my Sherpa because there are some people are taking pictures with, young men and young women. And I know they are obviously someone. And, Uncle Grill ain't got no idea. Hey, little brother. Hey, little sister, how you doing? How you doing?
You look nice.
But see, I'm glad people take, but I have no idea who you are.
Yes.
No idea. But that's would add a little bit of color. But, once my erstwhile producer shows up on the scene, he's a font of knowledge and popular folks who should be known or are known, and we'll get all that for you. But I have spoken to the mayor, Representative Delisha Boyd, so LBJ, several other folks, man. It's been a really good turnout, several folks from different media outlets across the country, and a very nice welcome.
That's pretty cool. And Josh says he's playing the tiny violin for your misery being out on location.
Tell him add a little bass. That's what you tell him. You tell him add a little bass.
He can hear
That's
you.
what you do.
He can
I know. I just want you to pass it on. I'm pointedly ignoring him now. That's why I'm speaking through a third party. And I just want you to let him know, add a little bass and maybe some horns, and then we can talk. Because, unless you are Noel Pointer or Michael Ward or even Sean Ward, Cortez Ward, I am going to doubt your violin abilities, sir. I know violinists. I know violinists. So there you go. You take that there and run with it. All right?
You got it. So,
all right, I will be checking in soon. I know you guys keep on hanging out, and we're going to keep you posted, let you know what's going on, all right?
For sure. All right, Uncle Gray.
All right, kids. See y'all later. Bye.
Yes, indeed. So you got that, Josh? Add a little bass to that violin. We're going to take a quick break, y'all. Stay tuned to the front porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hey WBOK 1230 family, this is Angie from the Sincerely Angie podcast. Make sure you're tuning in every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. to Conversations with Ron Richardson, where the conversations are all the way live and informative. Conversations with Ron Richardson every Saturday on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Good morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Leaders of some of the summer camp sites forced to close because of non-payments have received some of the money they were owed. The camps were forced to end early, impacting hundreds of campgoers. The camps were sponsored by Lee Anderson, the stepdad of Pelicans player Zion Williamson. Bricolage says they received a check yesterday for 2 of the 3 weeks they were owed. Anderson says he also gave a check yesterday to Triads YMCA. Leaders at Hangout NOLA say they were told they would be paid sometime today. And today, we expect to get more information on that gruesome stabbing incident that took place near the Walmart on Chapatulas last month. Today, the NOPD says they will release body camera video of the incident when an alleged shoplifter, the suspect, stabbed himself to death on Jackson Avenue. And the Essence Festival of Culture officially kicks off today with hundreds of thousands of visitors making their way to the Crescent City. And local leaders say they will be safe in our city. Barricades and barriers are some safety measures visitors will see during the crowded weekend. New Orleans Police Superintendent Anchor Patrick says there will also be increased staffing during the weekend. This comes on the heels of the New Year's Day terror attack and most recently a high-profile jail escape. Kirkpatrick promised resources will not be tied up as they work with state and federal partners. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a Have a great day.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana communities through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, please visit us at www.jazzandheritage.org.
Have you ever imagined yourself on the sidelines of the big game, representing athletes in negotiations, working in sports medicine? We're calling all high school students interested in a future career in sports. The Starting Block, a program created by the family of my dear friend, the late chef Leah Chase, and by yours truly, Arnie Filko, is accepting applications now for our third cohort, which begins this fall. Participants in this prestigious program learn from the experts in sports administration, marketing, broadcast journalism, and more. Run in partnership with Tulane's Center for Sport, the Starting Block incorporates real-life experiences shadowing local sports teams alongside classroom instruction led by the best in the field. If you're a rising freshman, sophomore, or junior across the metro New Orleans area interested in a future career in sports, please visit thestartingblocknola.com. Thestartingblocknola.com now to learn more and to apply for our 18-month free program.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimba White Dupree, and we have a new person that's sitting at the helm. What is your name, baby? Yes. I'm telling it's a lot of y'all.
My name's Javery.
Javery? Like Avery with a J? I like that. Now that's gonna stick. Javery just threw it over, assisted by Emira because Nyron is either at or on his way to the convention center to get grilling set up so that he can share what's going on at the press opening for Essence 2025. But this is the Front Porch, and of course, we have company. Please welcome Lauren Usher from the Dewdrop Inn and Tanyelle Keon.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, joining us here on the Front Porch. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How y'all doing this morning?
Rested and ready. I am
Doing
rested
good.
and ready for this weekend. That's for sure.
Yes, the long weekend is here. This year we haven't had as much buzz as we've had in the past, but it's definitely in town. People are making their way here to the city to enjoy the empowerment seminars and the concerts that'll be happening that night. But before we get too far into our conversation, who'd like to go first to tell us a bit about yourselves? Our listening audience, we need to know a little bit about you before we start talking about your business.
I'll kick it off.
Yeah.
I'm Lauren Usher. I am the head of communications and public relations at Dewdrop Inn, the historic and recently reopened music venue and landmark uptown on LaSalle Street.
Yes. And where you from, girl? Listen, no, this is a real Front Porch. Yeah, no, there's no sliding through that.
Listen, right? So I'm from Chicago originally, but I live here. As they all say, I got family down here, you know, my mama, my uncles, all that. So.
And how did you end up here on the Front Porch? It wasn't, okay, I'm from Chicago, I came to New Orleans and Dewdrop Inn.
So my mama came down here first. She retired, came down here, but she's always been coming down here because my uncle used to own a club here.
Yeah, we want to know.
He used to own a club over on St. Bernard and Broad.
All right.
And so my mama used to come down here all the time growing up. She always wanted to live here, but she couldn't until she retired. So she retired, came down here, and I scooted my little butt down here a couple years later, and so here we are.
And you couldn't let go of the city, or it wouldn't let go of you?
I love it. I mean, I love New Orleans. I mean, I hope nobody from Chicago listening. But New Orleans is definitely my favorite city.
New Orleans is that girl. It's okay.
I mean, I know we got people in town.
Once they come down, listen. Well, a lot of
got a
the kids,
hold on me.
A lot of the kids here at Xavier are from Chicago. Matter of fact, we just graduated at least 4 interns this particular class that were from Chicago, so they already know. You don't have to apologize for that. New Orleans is that girl. But
It
good
is.
morning. How you doing, Tanyelle?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Tanyelle Keon, and I am a actress, a producer, a host, and a multimedia muse. I am born and raised in New Orleans.
Where about?
I grew up on the West Bank.
Okay.
I grew up on the West Bank, but I went to school on the East Bank.
Okay, where
now
you
I can say it probably now, but back then you couldn't say that. You had to go to school in your neighborhood.
No, you didn't.
But
no, you didn't. Where you went to school?
Well, I went to school at Allen, uptown.
Okay.
And then I went to Marshall.
Okay.
And then we moved after that, and I finished high school in Texas.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but right after that, then I started traveling, and then I came back. I've been hipping and hopping since.
This is the city, and these are the times. Yes, absolutely. And so, you're an actress, notably an actress on Queen Sugar, and so now you're in town. You've gone here, you've gone there. Are you back to stay? Are you back to stay for a little while?
I am back to stay for a little while.
All right.
Yeah, our industry has been shaken since COVID.
Yes.
And because right after that, we went on a strike, which shut us down again for some months. And it woke me up to the thought of, I want to live smarter, not harder.
Yes.
At this age that I'm at now, I'm done with doing the hustle and waiting for the opportunity. And I figured coming back home, why not start where I started and try to figure out, okay, now what can I do now at home in this season? And then I met Lauren, and she invited me to the Dewdrop to watch their jazz brunch on a Saturday. Yeah. And unbeknownst to me, at the end of it, I ended up meeting the owner, Curtis, and he accidentally mentioned, "Oh yeah, you must be here to take the host position," because Lauren was looking for someone. But that wasn't why she invited me. And I was like, actually, while we're talking about it, this is actually why I came home.
Absolutely.
So it was really a divine moment. True. And I really feel like there's so much purpose in it that I don't exactly know just yet. But we're debuting on Saturday.
Okay.
Yes. And I hope everyone come and check it out.
Absolutely. So this brunch that Tanyelle is talking about is called Legends of the Dewdrop. And so it's something we initially launched in January during MLK weekend.
Yes.
But we are revamping it with Tanyelle's amazing acting prowess, her star power, just what she's going to bring to the show. But this is a show about the amazing musicians that have come through. I mean, when I say that the Dewdrop is a landmark of music, I mean, you have people like Ray Charles getting their start there. Irma Thomas used to play there every single Friday and Saturday. Alan Toussaint got his start in the house band. Little Richard, got his, basically launched into his stardom from the Dewdrop. So if they were somebody, they played at the Dewdrop during its heyday. We're talking about the 50s and 60s. So you get this experience where you really feel like you're stepping back into time, because you're getting this amazing music of that era, but you're also getting the stories, why the music is important, and it's kind of woven throughout the music. And that's what Tanyelle is going to be bringing to this role. I'm super excited to have her debuting this Saturday and then present with us for the Saturdays to come.
Oh, wow. That sounds really fun. So this is going to be the Saturday brunch?
Yes.
Okay, so Saturday brunch, that's going to be happening at the Dewdrop Inn, and you're going to be hosting at the inaugural
yes
time will be this coming Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, what
this
a weekend
Saturday at noon.
Yeah.
Right.
What a weekend to
so
do.
if you doors open at noon.
Come on in.
Buy your tickets, go online, and every Saturday after that.
So what about the lineup? What's going on who's going to be there?
For this particular show?
Yes.
So we have a really amazing kind of cadre of musicians. I'm not gonna get into it at this exact moment, but we usually have Gladney, who is our saxophonist.
We know Gladney. We've had him on the board.
He's incredible. We love him. Amina Scott on bass. So just really the heavy hitters. in the up and coming, I think, next generation of these legends. So as we are playing people like Fats Domino, the legend of the 40s and 50s, they're being played, I think, by this really all-star band of the upcoming New Orleans music legends.
Okay, and how excited are you to be hosting musicians that are going to be playing music that is of New Orleans or from the history of the Dewdrop Inn? Because I just recently watched the documentary on HBO for Little Richard, and he specifically spoke about his time at the Dewdrop Inn and knowing the people that came through the Dewdrop Inn is incredible. So, like, how excited are you to be in the same space where Tina Turner and Fats Domino and legends upon legends upon legends?
No pressure, right? Like, I really get like chills when I really think about it, which is why I can't think about it too much. I just want to show up, have a good time, and do my job. But I am so honored. Like, and when I was doing my research and really started to see like all the legends who say the Dewdrop was their training grounds, I just feel, yet again, I just can't find the words. I'm so honored because the same thing is happening for me.
Yes.
This is about to be my training grounds for me being on stage.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people are familiar. If you're familiar with me, you know, more so on TV and film. And this actually will be my very first time on stage.
Wow.
So, and I don't even think I told Lauren that, but yeah, this
I love it. No.
Yeah, this is my very first stage performance and storytelling, and I feel ready. I'm prepared. I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything that I've done on TV and film has prepared me for this, which is why it just, quote unquote, fell in my lap, but aligned, because God ain't gonna give me nothing I can handle.
No
Okay?
such thing as coincidence at all.
Exactly.
And so this is called Live Music and Brunch, Legends of the Dewdrop Road to Rock and Roll. And that in and of itself just gives you an idea of what you can look for, the spirit and just the idea, the title of what this is going to be, and plus good food over at the
absolutely. So
Dewdrop
don't
Inn.
forget the brunch part. So you get a full experience with this show. You know, you come in, we kind of kick it off with a short guided tour of our on-site museum. If you have not been to the Dewdrop,
the
we do
museum
have a
is
museum
amazing.
that kind of goes into the history of the Dewdrop, how these music legends and also civil rights legends. Like, we're also connected to AP Turo, Dutch Morial, because the owner initially fought for the integration of bars during this time of Jim Crow segregation. But you get that quick, 10 minutes, 15 minutes guided tour by the owner himself, Curtis Doucette. And then you have a wonderful brunch. We have talking, shrimp and grits,
New Orleans style,
griots,
of course.
Obviously your basics, eggs, bacon, sausage, you get gumbo, catfish, bread pudding, all that good stuff. And then you have this amazing show. And when we say the road to rock and roll, part of why we're doing this is to either maybe for the first time, if you've never heard about this, or continued this conversation about New Orleans being the home of rock and roll. See, a lot of people know that we're the home of jazz, of course. But when you talk about rhythm and blues and rock and roll, maybe this came from there, and maybe this is from, Kentucky or over here. No. New Orleans, places like the Dewdrop, music venues like Casa Matassa, those were places where the sound, the original, formation of the sound of rock and roll came about, and a lot of people tried to steal it, and we'll talk about who it was.
Well, we know who it is,
but they still trying.
This is the Black radio station. We say we know who has innovated, and we know who has capitalized off of the things that we do. And I mean, across several genres, they still talk about country music as our music. Use a lie.
Tried it.
Use a lie, and you're mad because we are now not quiet. We're not being silenced, or we don't have to be silent. That we have originated and pushed through several different genres of music because everybody wants our rhythm, but not our blues.
Come on now.
Yes.
And so that's what Tanya will be talking about. So you're going to hear like songs like, Fats Domino, The Fat Man, but you're going to hear like Tanya give the story behind why, that is so important to the formation of rock and roll genre.
Specifically in this space. Like that. Y'all are sitting exactly where the legends were. And the fundamentals of these sounds down to the specific beat were created.
Absolutely. I think that is highly, highly important, especially in the loss and the purposeful hiding of history as it relates to our contributions to the nation and the fabric of this nation. I think it's important for people to still create and maintain and hold steady to share information and accurate, the full information, because what's been lifted and grifted upon for centuries, it's time for that to stop. Jackie wants to know, what's your name again? We have Tanyelle Keon, who will be the host of this Saturday's brunch and moving forward, the brunch at the Dewdrop Inn. And also we have Lauren Usher, who is the head of communications for the Dewdrop Inn. So what are some other things that we excited about? Because this is the inaugural brunch where you'll be hosting and giving the history and stuff. So what do we see moving forward?
I see, really, honestly, for me, I really am passionate about people coming in that space and letting go and just being present. So I'm excited to see how this show evolves, because I think what Lauren and Curtis created is the fundamentals are there. They've given us a great ground to build from. So I'm excited to see it evolve, and from visually to the theatrics to just continue to bring people in, since it's the same show every Saturday. It has so much room to grow.
Yes.
And for people just to have a good time. And that is what people come to New Orleans for. And that's just in our hearts as New Orleanians. It's like, well, no matter what we're going through, we gonna know how to have a good time and party, baby,
Absolutely.
So that's what really I'm excited about. People just to forget what's going on in the world and come enjoy yourself.
New Orleans gets in you.
Yes.
You don't visit New Orleans. New Orleans comes and gets a part of you. It's the oldest city in the United States, and it is the most African city here in the United States as well. And a lot of people kind of gloss over that. But when you talk about energies and the spirits that we still honor throughout our everyday lives, there are things and practices that came from Africa that we still hold fast to. But because it's common practice here, we don't really frame what that is. But there's something about this city. You come here and people always come back. I don't know very many people who come to New Orleans just one time.
Absolutely. And especially once they get the tour, once you get this information that I was so shocked that I didn't know. Growing up in the city, we know just to have a good time. No one really told me why and how of all of it. So I'm equally excited about them actually getting this information and be so shocked that we're this close to it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And we're reliving it.
Absolutely.
We kind of call this show like edutainment. Because let me tell you, you're going to leave like on your feet, stomping, clapping, smiling, having a good time, dancing your way out the door.
Literally.
But you're going to have picked up some things. You're going to have learned some things about our music, the stuff that you maybe have heard all the time. Maybe your mama playing while you sweeping on a Sunday. But you're going to learn like, wow, this is so important to us, so important culturally to just the genre of music globally. And so we want this, what I think about in the future is that this show becomes a draw for locals and tourists, but really again about this conversation of, when people think about, well, maybe you are a huge music lover, a huge, cultural historian or whatever. Am I going to go to Memphis to talk about, find this home of rock and roll, or am I going to go to New Orleans? And we want to really call people to here, like not just for jazz, but after that, when we talk about a few decades after that, New Orleans is still always innovating sound. So we created that and this.
Yes.
And all the music that you like, really like the foundation of rhythm and blues and rock and roll are right here.
Absolutely. We have some questions in it. The brunch is on Saturday, and the doors open at 12.
Yes.
And the ticket prices, I think, are right around $60. Kerwin, I think he was asking about the tickets.
Yeah,
and
so
the
a
prices.
baseline of 50, but with tax and fees through the booking site, I think it comes to about 59 something.
Yeah, it's about 59, 50, $60
Mhm.
for a brunch. You're getting a show, a full brunch, a tour
And a
included
tour.
in
Yeah.
as well, along with history. And I think there's not too many places that you can go for starters and get brunch for less than $50. So this is right on on par with the
And you
cost
get
that you're going to
brunch
pay.
and a show.
Right. And so I see a list of the band. Are these the people, the players that are going to be
Yes.
there on Saturday?
So that's our standard band. Sometimes we
Mhm.
may have some substitutions, but yes, it's
Yeah.
led by Jesse
McBride.
So
Mhm.
he is a professor actually at Tulane, and he was a student of Harold Baptiste and Ellis Marcellus, who Harold Baptiste at least was also someone who played at the Dewdrop.
Mhm.
So we think about
Mhm.
this lineage of music, right?
Absolutely.
From Harold to Jesse, and now Jesse, who is the band leader of this next generation of like Amina and Gladney, and these just wonderful like all-star musicians of the city.
Yeah, that's really important. And in terms of, yeah, he said, okay, that's great. Yeah, exactly. We know what the cost of the things are when we get good food here. So already it's in a historic place in a historic neighborhood. And shout out to Curtis Doucette, who's been here a few times on the Front Porch for making sure that the Dewdrop came back. My
Yes.
parents are old enough to have known and have experienced the Dewdrop. It wasn't a part of my young experience, but in my lifetime it'll
That's
be
so
something that my
cool.
children will be able to have experienced as well, and still visit acts that are there. So that is highly important because, again, history, the telling of history and the accurate telling of history is under attack, and to make sure that the whole story is shown and still there to be able to be expressed for generations to come is highly important. And I really do appreciate, one, that you've invested the time to get some of the research, because that's also important. We have people who tell our stories, but they don't tell them right. They leave bits and pieces out. And yes, New Orleans is known for jazz. It is definitely the birthplace of jazz. When we're talking about the connections of people, I'm hoping that this will be a spearhead or a launch for different places to connect, to create some sort of roadmap on how music has traveled throughout this country and beyond. Because the talent, it seems like for a long time, our city is so full of talent. We kind of like, okay, we have so much, where do we go? But just to know that you're corralling again at the Dewdrop Inn and everybody wants a piece of it, they have the opportunity to do so. Lauren Usher, Tanyelle Keon, thank you for joining us here on the Front Porch.
Thank you.
The brunch, the name of the brunch is called
Legends of the Dewdrop Road to Rock and Roll.
Yes, it starts on Saturday, the inaugural run with the historical piece that includes Tanyelle as the host. Starts at doors open at 12 o'clock. So be prepared, bring your appetites, and bring your mind to be opened with the history, music, and good food over at the Dewdrop Inn. Thank you for joining us, and you both have an open invitation to the Front Porch to let us know about additional things that will be happening. And we look forward to hear more and more about what as it grows. The brunch on Saturday. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. Now, we are joined here by a guest from Essence. Good morning. Hello. Sounds like hello. Good morning.
Down.
Yeah, it sounds like they're working on something. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for joining us. We are looking forward to this brunch on Sunday.
Thank you for having us.
And we have somebody on location, so we're getting ready to put somebody through Essence.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
All
you.
right, have a good one. And we'll next be joined by a guest from Essence from the Convention Center. Good morning.
Going on that Essence. I do this for y'all. I get no personal satisfaction out of this at all. To be down here. And why you laughing, Mike? Mike, why you blew my face? Man, I had
it's
it going.
It's torture having you down here, huh?
It is so difficult to be here at the Ernest M. Morial Convention Center on this first official event of the 2025 Essence Festival. I am sitting right now with Michael Barkley II, the Chief Events Officer for the Sundial Media Group, who does all of these events for Essence. Michael, welcome to the Front Porch, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. I appreciate you having me on the porch. This is incredible. Thank you for having
Absolutely, man. Now, you laughed when I was telling the people about my sacrifice. You still laughing, man. That's all right, dude. That's all right.
You got a tough job, brother.
Going out there talking to people, being in the, and for the next 3 days, this is just the beginning.
Yes.
This is just the beginning, and I love it. Now, obviously, this is not your first Essence. You don't get to be the Chief Events Officer for Sundial Media, who works directly with Essence, and they put you in this position as a rookie. Tell me about a little bit about Michael Barkley II and his journey from North Carolina and how he got here to be sitting on the porch with us right here to begin the 2025 Essence.
Oh, man, such a windy road. As you mentioned, I'm from North Carolina. I'm a proud graduate of North Carolina A&T State University.
All right.
HBC
of
pride.
course.
And, I started my career on the finance path, but then I switched and wanted to get into more marketing and events. I moved to New York. I was doing events in New York for over a decade, working on the agency side. I moved to Chicago again on the agency side. And oddly enough, I ended up at Essence with a chance meeting with our chairman of Sundial Media Group, Rich Lou Dennis. I was in New Orleans for the Final Four a couple years ago. I was actually transitioning from one agency role to another. I had a week off between the two jobs. I'm a diehard Duke fan, being from North Carolina. Coach K was in the Final Four. We was playing against Carolina. It was Coach K's last year. I said, I'm going to New Orleans.
I got a week off.
And I got a week off, so I'm like, I'm going down there. So I came. Duke lost in the game against Carolina. That was heartbreaking. I had to decide whether I was going to stay in New Orleans or go home. They lost my first day in town, Saturday. But I decided to stay anyway, even though, Carolina fans could be obnoxious and they was getting on me. But I stayed down here. I would have been the same way. Actually, no, I wouldn't have been because Duke fans are used to winning, not Carolina.
Oh, good shot. Good shot. All right, go ahead.
So I stayed in town and actually ended up in the Coca-Cola hospitality suite after the finals game on Monday. Monday night. We're at the Four Seasons. And I was there with some of my former clients from Coke that I had known and worked with when I was an agency side. But it was this group of black people that I didn't know that looked like royalty. I was like, who are these people over here? And you know how it is when we are in those rooms, it's not a lot of us.
I do.
We gravitate towards each other. Midnight, by the end of the night, we're all by the bar talking, and we're talking.
And having the best time in the room.
Best time.
The best, everybody looking around, why are we not over there? You having, yes, sir.
Have the best time. And then this gentleman, he got tapped on the shoulder and said, it's time for us to go. So this gentleman, he's saying his goodbyes to everybody. And I didn't know who he was, and he didn't know who I was. He came to me, he said, hey, we haven't met, but who are you? I said, who are you? We haven't met. But we did have a mutual friend who he did know, and that mutual friend all of a sudden became my hype man.
Yes.
And he said, and this gentleman that I didn't know was Rich Lou Dennis, and he said, hey, Rich, this is my guy Barclay, because everybody calls him by my last name.
Okay.
This is my guy Barclay. He said, you see all this Powerade stuff that's happening around here, because Powerade was my client at the previous agency that I had left to go to the other one.
Gotcha.
But I worked on this account. He said, you saw this Powerade stuff and this commercial and stuff. He did that. And while he was saying that, the commercial was literally running on the back screen at the Four Seasons in that lounge. And so Rich looks at me and he said, Rich, but he left that place to go do something else. B, tell him what you're doing now. I said, well, I just started my job today. It was my first day on my new job as the SVP. I was the senior vice president of experiential events for an agency. Rich looked at me again. This is 25 seconds. Rich goes, "You're the guy that I need. Take my number down." I said, "Well, Rich, I just started my new job today." He said, "You're the guy that I need. Take my number down." So we exchanged numbers, and he left.
Okay.
And I was with our mutual friend stayed, and I said, "I just started a job. I can't." He said, "Look, I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna happen." He said, "He's gonna call me. I'm gonna tell him you're serious professional, and that if he wants you, he's gonna have to come correct." So I was hoping that he wasn't gonna call me.
Yeah. So you wouldn't have to.
I don't have to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. I thought I was in the clear, and then I got a message from him and said, "Hey, can you talk today?" I got a message from Rich, and Rich said, "Hey, do you have time to talk today?" And we talked. He offered me a job on the spot. This was 2 weeks after we met, and I turned him down. I said, "Rich, I can't." He said, "Don't even say no. He said, take 2 days to think about it. I'll call you over the weekend." Called me the weekend. I turned him down again. And then the third time, he told me, he said, "You will regret this." And I knew he was right.
Yeah.
Because I knew what the agency world was. I had done that for
been there and done that. Been there and done that, yeah.
And so I had to check myself. I said, "What are you afraid of?" And I was afraid of.
I just went up and split.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
We talk about that on this porch all the time. Knowing you more so than anything else. Yeah.
What are you afraid of? What are you afraid? Why? Because you're excited about this opportunity, but you're afraid to let go of what you know. You don't want to alienate this audience.
That's right.
You just started with these people. They're not going to be happy for you telling you leaving after 2 weeks. But if you turn this down, like what other opportunity will you have to do it?
That's going to come like this. Can't steal home with your foot on third, right?
Exactly. So I took the leap, and that was almost 4 years ago, and I have not regretted it. And it's funny, one of my other executives, she was asking me, she said, "Have you heard anything from that industry that you left?" I was like, "Actually, no." She said, "Uh-huh. You transcended that." I said, "Well, there you go." So that's how it ended up. The city of New Orleans. If it wasn't for this city.
I was going back to that.
It wasn't for this.
I was going back to that. We talk about on this porch all the time that there's no coincidence.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. The idea that if all the things that could have happened, you got a week off, you got to see your team, you want to come down to this city, to New Orleans, because we do the Final Four like nobody else.
That's right.
It's a good time. Even though Duke lost, you still, you know what, let me just enjoy the city, which puts you in the place to be at that Coca-Cola thing.
Yeah.
You knew some people say, "Man, come over here." You might have, if your team would have won, you would have been somewhere different.
Right. Exactly.
You'd have been somewhere different. Those things probably wouldn't have come together. Yeah. But because of that, you're in the room, meet your guy, and that's a great. So that's why we do that, man.
Yeah.
We always know. Essence been here for 30 plus years. I was at the first one.
Oh wow.
That was like 2 careers ago. I was in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
So the absolute first Essence when they came here. How you doing, doctor? I'm on the radio, but I'm gonna talk to you. All right. I'm probably a cut.
No.
Just talking about the hospitality industry. My man, he's been around for a long time. But yeah, the first Essence, man, was beautiful, and it has just gotten exponentially better over the years, man. It's just a really, really good time where our people come and just float, just have a good time, and break every stereotype that anybody else might ever had of us, and some of them that we have of ourselves.
Always, yeah.
You know?
No, this is.
What are you looking forward to, man? Now that you're back.
Well, first of all, I've always looked forward to just being here.
I can dig it.
And being here during this time is unlike anything that you can experience anywhere else.
That's the truth.
It actually reminds me a lot of, when you travel abroad, say you go to a majority black country, and you're not the minority.
Yes.
You get to just be.
Yes. Where the airline pilots are black and the stewardess are black.
You get to just be in this city this weekend. We all here.
That's right.
People ask me, like, how would you describe it? Well, it's like a family reunion. That's kind of the one that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
Very much so for both, not just us, the people. Yeah. But I've even had the stories from the celebrities, the talent that come down here.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite stories, my first year at Essence, we had Janet Jackson as one of our headliners. And so we went back to, say hello to her. And while we was waiting on her to get ready, this was after her show, Kim Fields, Tootie from Fact of Life, was waiting as well. And Kim Fields came up to me and my CEO at the time, and she said, "I want to thank y'all for doing this." She said, "Because me and Janet were best friends growing up."
Right.
I haven't seen her in 15 years. I'm going to get to see her tonight because of what y'all did at SFS. And I just want to thank you. And I knew what the effect was on us, you know, the people. Yes. But to hear that from people, because that's what you realize.
That's what you realize. Yes, sir.
And that's
yes,
what
sir.
SFS is. We all people. We all people. We are our people. It is a very supportive environment. I tell people, it's like, you know, it's almost like, especially being on this side, it's almost youth day at church.
Yeah.
You can't do no wrong.
You can't do no wrong. So take your time.
Take your time,
Ain't
man.
no wrong.
You got to restart. We're a little late sometimes.
It's all right.
It's all right. We ain't going to.
There's still that confidence in you that even if you stumble, it's not to stumble.
Yes.
It's to not getting up.
Yep.
That's the problem.
Yeah. We like to say, you know, this is where you come to fill up your cup. You fill up your cup during this weekend so you can go out in the world and be the best you can be, but you come here to get full.
There you go.
And you can go
leave all that other stuff.
That's right.
It's going to be there when you get back.
That's right.
Emptied, I come down here to get full of the good stuff and bring that home with you. Won't have no room left for that stuff that you left back
and we
there.
try to give you enough to make you last till next year when you come back.
There you go. We love it. Michael Barkley II, Chief Events Officer for Sundial Media Group, who is working directly with us to put this whole thing together. My friend, thank you so much. Welcome back to the city. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I hope that I see you again over the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. You'll see me. I'll be around.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
The Front Porch, y'all. WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long, live from the Ernest and Morial Convention Center for the 2025 Essence Festival. Stick and stay. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to see you on the other side of the break.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
It's a hot and mostly dry Thursday with highs in the low to mid-90s and feels like temperatures near 100. A few scattered showers and storms are possible for the afternoon. For the 4th of July and this weekend, expect typical summer heat with highs in the 90s and a few pop-up storms each afternoon, but not expecting a washout for the fireworks. From the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Richard.
On Auto Trends with JeffCars.com, here's a snippet of some of what we cover. GPS pioneer Gladys West.
We worked long hours computing trajectory orbits and satellite orbits, trying to get the data and everything correct enough.
Auto analyst Mark Bland.
14 new vehicle deals that happen in this country out of every 100 that women don't have a fingerprint on.
To tune in, check out Auto Trends with JeffCars.com. Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purchase of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxurious resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then the Family Vacation Getaway is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know? Call 800-460-9319. 800-460-9319. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. Don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-460-9319. 800-460-9319 and give us your answer. This proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and we just heard a lovely interview with Graylin Bryant Banks and Michael Bartley II, who is the Chief Events Officer for Sundial Media Group with Essence. They are at the Convention Center right now, and with the opening media day for Essence 2025, we'll be hearing more from him as we continue throughout the broadcast. But I hope you all enjoyed that good storytelling. And of course, before we had coverage from Graylin, we had Lauren Usher, the head of communications at the Dewdrop Inn, and Tanyelle Keon, an actress, who will be hosting the Saturday brunch at the Dewdrop Inn, the inaugural history telling starting at 12 o'clock on Saturday. And of course, the tickets, we talked about that, are available for, I think it rounds up to about $60 for you to get a tour of the Dewdrop Inn Museum, along with a full brunch and music, a full band and storytelling of Road to Rock and Roll. So shouts out to Curtis Doucette and the rest of the staff and event planners that are going to make this brunch happen on this coming Saturday. And what a Saturday to get this started, because this is the kickoff to Essence 2025. There are plenty of things that are going to be happening around the city. If you are not planning to go to the concerts, there are other events for you to definitely envelop yourself with all sorts of sights, sounds, and definitely good tastes in and around the city. So yeah, I look forward to hearing more and more about people who will be spending their time here in the city. So hey y'all, did y'all enjoy those last two interviews? I definitely did. Now I'm excited about getting over to the Dewdrop Inn. I know Graylin has been for a couple of events already and has been able to experience. I haven't just yet, but I do have plans to get there to see what's going on, because I've passed that building so many times throughout my lifetime. I can't wait to see what has been done to update the current scenery. It's pretty amazing to see and to know that the Dewdrop Inn has touched several generations and is back around for people of my generations and beyond. And I see a whole lot of traffic that's passing by Xavier. They're heading into the city. So I'm hoping that's an indication of the traffic that will be coming to enjoy this weekend's activities. There's plenty of things going on, of course, but that is the city of New Orleans. There's always stuff going on. If you can't find something to do, it's because you went out of your way to not seek what was happening here in New Orleans. 504-582-9422. We've been having some pretty good conversations this morning, and I definitely appreciate our Front Porch gang in the comments, because you all always help to guide the conversation, to give different perspectives, because we respect everybody's opinions. As you share about things that are happening, going on around the news that's impacting our people and the people that we love. Of course, we haven't talked too much about politics today, and I kind of want to stay away from politics, at least today, mainly because after a while, if you talk about things so long, it gets heavy. And it's not that it's not important, but in this case, with the government that we have in place, we have a job that we have to do if we want to see change. And if we don't do that job, the changes that we'll see may not be in our benefit. So I'm not going to tap into the news on that so much. Again, Essence 2025 will be taking place this weekend. The concert series and the empowerment seminars, they begin on tomorrow. The kickoff party is tonight, and We have, I know that are headlining included in the lineup are Boys to Men, Maxwell, DeVito, Glorilla, the Isley Brothers, Nas, and Summer Walker. There's also going to be a special tribute to Quincy Jones that's going to be curated by Jermaine Dupree. There will be performances by Dougie Fresh. Master P will be doing his farewell performance on the Essence stage. And there are other guests that you can look forward to seeing as well on the main stage. Missy Elliott will be, well, nope, that's not for this year. Hold up. Wrong Essence. That was 2019. Hang on a second. Let me get to 2025. Let's no, that was no, that was 2020 2019. I got to find this year that has the entire lineup for the with the super lounges on who's going to be there. Okay, here we go. I know Jill Scott is going to be there, and this is I said Maxwell, but this is the I think it's the anniversary to Urban what's the name of this Urban Hang Suite, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be I think maybe the 25th or 30th anniversary for that particular album. He had been a headliner in 1997, and yeah, his Maxwell Urban Hang Suite, that was 97. That so it's almost 30 years since that, and he was supposed to perform in 2000, but of course, um, that didn't happen. But in 2009, he came back, and so he's again here. Kenneth Babyface Edmonds, who I hope that I'll get a chance to see, will be there as well. Glorilla will be turning 26 this month, so this will be her first time at Essence. So we'll see how that manages, and how she'll be received at this year's festival. And then on Friday night, though, Coco Jones will be playing here at Essence Fest, and I'm excited about that because she is pretty good. She is she plays Hillary on Bel Air, and she's also gotten a Grammy so far in 2022 for her single ICU. So if you're not familiar with Coco Jones, have a little bit of a dive into her music, because she's a young woman. She's gorgeous, and she has a voice to boot. So for sure, make sure that if you don't know who she is, tune into a bit of her music. She sings R&B, and she is also, I mean, she's just stunning in my opinion. And there also be, let's see, Friday, tomorrow night, you have the Isley Brothers and the new school girl group called Siren, but their name is spelled Pisiryn, but it's pronounced Siren. They'll be there on tomorrow night. I'm going to look a little further and see who else will be playing during this Essence Festival weekend. But of course, we'll have several stages that will be in action. The super lounges are backed, but with the cost this go round. And I'm curious how that's going to all round itself out, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure about how many people are going to be sliding into those sliding into those super lounges for the extra fee. Yes, Cam, Urban Hang Suite. It's his anniversary of that, or they're celebrating that particular album. And Michonne, yes, you are correct. You do have to pay extra for the super lounge performances. It's not included in regular admission. And Coco Jones for sure can sing. We're getting ready to toss it over to Graylin again, and welcome back. Hello. Do we have our people at
Welcome
Convention
back,
Center?
y'all.
There we go.
Front Porch, WBOK, 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about. I'm your host, Graylin Bryant Banks, and no, I am not on the campus of Xavier University. I am out and about. They let me loose, y'all. Wasn't that a mistake? And then they sent Nyron as my supervisor. Now, you know that just didn't make no sense. Equity Media, y'all got to do better. But I do this once again for the listeners and fans of the Front Porch. I sacrificed my Thursday to come out here and be amongst these folks at Essence just so you all can live vicariously through me. And you're welcome. All right? Now, right now, the reason we out here is to meet some folks, have them sit on the porch and talk to us. And right now, we are joined by three gentlemen of the Fine Wine Series. Gentlemen, welcome to the Front Porch. Welcome to New Orleans. And please take a moment and introduce yourselves. Tell folks where you're from.
For sure. This is Canal. I'm one of the managing partners of Fine Wine Series, and I'm from New York.
What's going on? Buccio Sandu, one of the partners at Fine Wine Series. What's going on, y'all? Dozy, last founder, co-founder, and managing partner of Fine Wine Series.
There you go. The fellas are here, y'all, and y'all got something else in common. You want me to tell them, or y'all want to tell them? Tell them. You want me to tell them, or y'all want to tell them?
I'm okay with public shame. You go ahead.
It's going to be shame or fame, depending on how you're looking at it, guys. Depending on how you look at it, ladies especially, and gentlemen. These are on the Front Porch right now after 30-plus years of the Essence Festival here in our fair city of New Orleans. I am in the company of three Essence virgins. All three. Gentlemen, you have no idea what you're in for, do you? And you brought wine. And you're giving wine away at Essence. And you ain't never been here before. Oh, Lord, I'm going to follow y'all around. Brother, tell me what you expected. Tell me a little bit about the Fine Wine Series, but y'all are here for the first time. Tell me what you're expecting as bringing the Fine Wine Series here to Essence.
That's a great question. In terms of the Fine Wine Series, we are one of the largest Black-owned wine festivals in the country.
Excellent.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So right now, our whole idea is bringing the vibe of an elevated experience to different, demographics, whether that's in New York, whether that's in Atlanta, D.C., New Orleans.
Absolutely.
We're just trying to make sure we bring this experience everywhere we go.
Okay. All right. Well, man, listen, I tell you, and to have the opportunity to come down here, and I think you guys are right hand in glove with Essence. How did that come about? How did that collaboration come about?
Yeah, we got a great, PR person.
Absolutely.
Shouts out to Jalen JMC.
Jalen JMC.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen JMC. Shouts out to you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have fun, baby. That's all right there. Y'all can't see her, but I'm looking at her. She is resplendent right here. Yes, she is. But that's how you got to hook up with Essence, and now you guys get a chance to come down here to New Orleans. And let me ask you another. Have you been to New Orleans before? Double virgin. Baby, go buy me a lotto ticket. Somebody go, please. Go
ahead today.
Right now. First time in New Orleans, first time in Essence, and y'all brought wine. Bro, what do you think this weekend is going to be like?
I'm scared now. It sounds like a whole lot of mayhem.
I'm telling you.
For me personally, I'm here for the food. Here to see what the drinks are looking like as well too. But yeah, I think just being able to be in a city that's high energy, the culture's here.
That's right.
A lot of people look like us.
They do.
They understand where we're from. But just being able to see everybody in one space is a blessing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Oh, well, you got a lot to look forward to. I can tell you that. I'm gonna send that same question over to you. Now, you are here in New Orleans. The Fine Wine Series, first time at Essence, first time in my city. What are you looking forward to? What are you expecting? What do you think it's gonna be like?
Based on the energy I'm receiving so far, just being out on Bourbon Street last night.
I'm gonna get you off Bourbon Street before this over. All right. And shouts out to Bourbon Street. This time, that's like going to Times Square.
Yep.
I had to say nothing else. You go,
Yeah. Experience it.
And then once you go ask the people, say, but where I need to go. I got you.
Okay.
I got you.
No, but the energy was great last night.
Yeah.
Even if it's, it was a Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah.
There was still a lot of people outside.
Yeah.
A lot of energy. The city was buzzing. So I just expect that to kind of transcend throughout the whole weekend.
Yes, sir.
You're going to get a little bit more buzzing.
Now, and I'm going to have to ask you because Essence, since its inception, has drawn a big female audience.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to take a guess at the ratio, what do you think that it would be, female or male?
Probably 80 to 20.
80-20?
Yeah.
All right.
That's kind of like some of the issues that we have as well.
Yeah.
Our demographic is about 70-30.
About 70-30 women to men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Don't tell no more dudes. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's about right. That's about right. Don't. Oh, absolutely. Somebody got to keep the gate. Who gonna keep the barbarians out, man? So you say 80-20, 8-2. What you think, sir? You think that's accurate?
I think it might be a little bit more than that. 90-10 at this point.
We got 2 90-10s or this is
Same.
Well, yeah. I think you all gonna be about right. I think you have a good time because all you got to do is just show up. You can walk around. You guys got wine. Where will you be throughout the course of the weekend? Where will the Fine Wine Series be set up?
Yeah, so you can catch us in the convention center.
Okay.
We're going to be on the food and wine panel talking everything through wine and experiences that we do. We'll be over here.
You're going to be here?
Yeah.
So it'll be set up right here in the Ernestine Morial Convention Center. Mm-hmm. This is a part of the outreach that Essence has continued to make free. Folks just come, show up, and there are experiences on the first floor, on the second floor, all through the convention center. And now with the food and wine experience that's all going to be going on, that's going to be a curated talk about what you guys do along with chefs and different things like that. But you also have specifically the Fine Wine Series set up for tastings or visits, or what is that going to be like?
So we're more so just putting people on to like what the experience of the Fine Wine Series is. We got a couple of nice little giveaways that we'll be giving out too.
So you can talk right here with that.
Oh yeah, no, you got one. Right, don't worry, we got you. We're gonna get you right. We're gonna get you right. But
my grandmother said you have not because you have not. But anyway.
But no, we'll be here talking, connecting with people, giving a little piece of the experience away.
Absolutely. Now, when folks, after Essence is over and during the course of this event, if they wanted to find out more about the Fine Wine Series, how would they do that?
Okay, yeah, you can find us on IG, TikTok, pretty much anywhere.
All the
socials, the Fine Wine Series on Instagram, TikTok, and we also have a website as well, too.
I was just going to ask you if there's a website.
The website is pretty much give you a breakdown of who we are, the story, and just some of our past events.
And what is that website?
FineWineSeries.com.
FineWineSeries.com.
Yes, sir.
Fine Wine Series on IG, TikTok, Facebook. Y'all with the old people on Facebook?
We still there.
Right on.
We for everybody here.
So what you mean you got you? Why I was asking about the old people and you gonna tell me I got you?
Come on, man.
Oh, hold up, man. Y'all was doing so good. You say you. You say we got them. If you would have said we got them, we got everybody. Oh yeah, that's a good save, cuz. That's a good save. Yes, indeed. New York coming out, but you in original new. We slick too. You heard me? Yes, indeed, man. So folks can find you guys now. Is there a Fine Wine Series product, or do you guys actually recommend different wines, different events, different experiences?
We do a little bit of everything.
Okay, so there is product.
So our product, you could say, is our events. So through our events is where we educate people on what we do. Through our products is where, we also provide the vibes in the wine. So you can find us September 6th at Citi Field. We do our festival there. But throughout the year, we're anywhere from the East Coast, West Coast to Cape Town doing small activations. But yeah, that's our product, man.
And folks can find out about all these events on the website. They can go right there, and of course, you advertise them on all across the socials.
Yep.
Will there be I know you guys are going to be here doing this, but will there be an event that you're famous for? You know, you guys do events. And this is going to be talking to people at an event. Mm-hmm. Is there going to be a Fine Wine Series event that's going to happen this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah.
Not this year.
Not this year?
Not this year.
It's your first year.
Yeah, first year.
I'm going to give you that. I was hoping.
You're going to point us to the right direction.
I'm going to make sure that before you guys leave here, everybody that needs to know about the Fine Wine Series to know that we've got 3 double virgins, first time at Essence, first time in New Orleans.
Man, he's
I'm
calling us
to
out.
let everybody. Oh, you see
He's calling us out.
Did you see? Unsolicited customer testimonies, fellas. Unsolicited customer say you get nervous, huh, kid? Don't get scared. You gonna be all right, Shorty. We got you. Call me uncle. I got you. Gentlemen, one last time, man. You're on all of the socials across the platform, wherever you might happen to be surfing. You ought to be able to find the Fine Wine Series and get information about all the events that's coming up. FineWineSeries.com. Gentlemen, thank y'all so much. This has been a pleasure. Tell the folks who y'all one more time before we get out of here.
Once again, I'm Canal with the Fine Wine Series.
I'm Bucci Osandu with the Fine Wine Series.
And Dozy with the Fine Wine Series.
There we go. All these good brothers are here, y'all. Double virgins. Find them. You've seen their pictures. They want to be welcomed to both New Orleans and to Essence. You ain't saying nothing about your head no issues, bro. So it's too late now. You trying to give us consideration. You should have done that at the beginning. You understand? It's a little late now. We got to take this quick break, y'all. You tuned into the Front Porch, WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long. Stick and stay, y'all. We live at the 2025 Essence Festival, the Ernest N. Boreal Convention Center. We're going to see y'all on the other side of the break.
From the campus of Xavier University, WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans.
New Schools for New Orleans, along with New Orleans Public Schools and the Cowell Institute, are excited to announce the launch of a new digital tool on the data dashboard. New Orleans Public Schools, 20 years later, a timeline of recovery, transformation, and growth. The tool provides data, information, and context on the past 20 years of K-12 education in New Orleans, the changes that occurred, and the outcomes these changes helped produce. Visit nolapublicsschools.com/K20 to view the tool and learn more.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump says he'll consider prosecuting former Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, accusing him of enabling illegal immigration.
Was he given a pardon, Mayorkas? Was he not?
I don't believe so.
Well, I'd take a look at that.
Trump made the comments while touring Florida's new detention center. Black Maryland Governor Wes Moore slammed the Senate's passage of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, calling it heartless. He warns it could strip health coverage from 200,000 Marylanders and gut rural housing funding. House Republicans are still working on a final vote for the massive bill, which is expected to happen soon. And reactions continue to pour in after Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty of transporting women for prostitution. Cassie Ventura's lawyer, Doug Wigdor, praised her courage, while Aubrey O'Day, formerly of Danity Kane, said the verdict made her nauseous. 50 Cent reacted bluntly, saying, Diddy beat the feds. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
You're on the Front Porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and that was another great interview with Graylin Bryant Banks and the gentleman from the Wine Experience, who are double virgins to the city and to Essence Festival. So, ladies, you got about 3 fellas that don't know what time it is, go show them. They're at the convention center. I think it's called the Wine Experience, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, they're right for the picking. So go have fun. It is Essence weekend, and there's so much to do in the city. I'm glad that we are hearing about who is making preparations, who is looking forward to having some good times, and for sure, if there's ever a time to have a good time other than Carnival, this is certainly one of those times. It is the day before July 4th. Is it Elwin's birthday tomorrow? I feel like Elwin's birthday is either today or tomorrow, and it keeps slipping my mind, but I think his birthday is either today or it's tomorrow. Either way, happy early birthday, Elwin, or happy birthday to you. And if I remember tomorrow, I will also send some birthday wishes to our one and only Elwin Eloysius, as he is affectionately known here on the front porch. Uh, there, there's a lot going on in the city for not just Essence, but there are also always other events that you can um, participate in. And one of the content creators that I follow is an event, um, having an event at a place of people that I actually love. If you've heard of the Red Light District, or you ever heard me speak of Nice Guys NOLA, there is they have an event space at the downtown location where Funky Doniva or Quentin Latham will be having a day party there, and I know it's going to be really a fun event. I think this is his second or third time having uh, an Essence event here in the city. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is his second or third year. I met him in, I think, 2018, and I had been following him for years. And he's been doing different in-person series in different cities, but I think this is his second or third year doing it at Essence, and he's going to be doing that at the space Nice Guys. Um, Let me see, is headquarters by Nice Guys. That'll be happening sometime this weekend, and it's not going to be in the downstairs part. You have to actually you have to purchase a ticket to go to it, but it's a day party. The food will be provided by headquarters by Nice Guys, and from what I understand, it's a pretty cool event that'll be happening there. So if you've heard me affectionately talk about Allison and Glenn, I love them dearly, and their food is delicious. My family can attest to that. But there's also an event space that they have, and that they'll be hosting a day party called Dial to the Bar. So that's another event that you can venture off to and during the daytime if you're not going to between the not the French Quarter, between the convention center and the Superdome for the Essence concerts and or empowerment seminars. Yes, Cam, I think his birthday is today. So yes, Elwin, if you're listening, this is the Front Porch birthday shout out to you. Happy birthday. And I third or the fourth, I couldn't remember exactly, but happy birthday. We haven't heard from you yet today. So if you're listening, I want you to know that the Front Porch sends you birthday love and many happy returns. So we look forward to hearing from you about your exploits on your birthday. Uh, as the weekend, we always say the weekend starts on uh, on Thursday. We are here. We are definitely here, and of course, yes, it's Friday Eve. Graylin and Nyron are both at the convention center getting things mapped out for tomorrow. Of course, we will be on um, We will be on Radio Row on tomorrow, and then we haven't gotten the schedule of where else we'll be, but I know we've gotten access to backstage at the concerts and at the Superdome this year. So you'll be hearing more from us as the weekend unfolds, and um, I look forward to seeing, what's popping, what's going on for real. And if some of you guys are going to be out and about, let us know. Let us know where, what are your plans and your, what are you looking forward to celebrating this weekend? Is anybody grilling for the fort tomorrow? Because it's been a couple of years since I have been to a 4th of July celebration. We're not doing that so much these days, but it's been quite a few years since we've been somewhere um, for people having cookouts. Is anybody still doing that? Is anybody? I'm curious. Is anybody still doing that, or are we good with just Juneteenth? Because I know that was still a day on for us. We were still working on Juneteenth, but I'm curious if you guys will be celebrating 4th of July. I know my neighbors have been pre-celebrating 4th of July, scaring the bejesus out of the dogs with the firecrackers they've been popping now for about, 3 weeks? We've been hearing loud blasts that have been scaring both St. Rock and Treme with these loud booms randomly going on. Kaboom. So I guess tomorrow night will be where they will full on be popping firecrackers with reckless abandon. I'm sure that will be taking place on tomorrow night as tomorrow is the 4th. But yeah, I haven't noticed that too many people uh are having New Year's Eve celebrations. I'm curious though. Tomorrow, let's see. Where is where are they going tomorrow? Okay, so red light district tomorrow night. It's not at Nice Guys no list. 1111 Poitras with the Funky Danifa down to the down to the bar. That's going to be happening on Saturday. 1111 Poitras. Is that? I feel like that is the same address. No, there's two different places. Well, my bad, but still stop by Nice Guys Nola. You can hit it there while you're headed to the Superdome and get some good food while you're down in the city celebrating Essence Fest weekend. I'm curious though. Have y'all been looking at the tickets for Essence? Because I definitely has the ticket sales are down, but I haven't looked at ticket prices in a couple years. I haven't had to. I've been blessed with getting tickets, but has anybody purchased tickets this year? Anybody? Nikki says my family still has a big pool party we have since I was young. Yeah, but are y'all celebrating the 4th or is it just a day to get together? I'm curious. Because some people are still out with the decorations and whatnot, but some people are just like, well, we off from work, we're going to kick it. So is it just a family gathering or y'all celebrating the 4th of July, Nikki? Just asking because I'm curious. Mark said, for Squeezy's birthday, y'all should send him something to squeeze. Say more, Mark. Like what? What are we sending him to squeeze? He said that he is taking a break from what has had him cloudy. So what are we sending him to squeeze, Mark? And I got your comment about Coco Jones. She is a full adult, Mark. Talk about her like Method Man if you must. I get it. She's not a child, so no judgment on that. She's 27 years old, and yeah, that's not creepy. You're not pervy for that. So, um, lust away, lust away, and she is gorgeous. That is a pretty young woman. If y'all have ever had a chance to look at that, Michonne said, yeah, that's what I said. The Red Lights District is the second floor of headquarters by Nice Guys. I know, but I just looked at the address for the place where he said it was the Red Light District NOLA, and I'm looking at the address on the ticket and it says 1111 Poydras, and that's not the address of headquarters by Nice Guys. Their address is um is it 445 Rampart? Well, let me find the address, the real address, so I can say this correctly, because I don't want to give misinformation multiple times. Um, yeah, their address is 445 South Rampart Street. So that is a different space. But I have seen the space. I have been up there. Glenn took us on a tour of that event space, and it is beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. So if you are thinking of giving an event or uh, uh, having some sort of gathering in a nice upscale place, that's definitely a place to consider. It's absolutely gorgeous. Uh, let's see. Josh said, when I was a late teen, we used to crash 4th of July picnics at City Park and get fed, plus took home food and drinks. Okay, Josh. So you a picnic crasher or you a gathering crasher? I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. Josh, you're an interesting human, but always solid. So you get no judgment or admonishment from me at all. I love that for you. I definitely love that for you. I'm looking forward to less traffic tomorrow in some sense that people won't be going to work. But if it looks like anything that any previous Essence has been before, I know we're going to have a bit of traffic as we travel to the convention center on tomorrow, and parking and all that good stuff is going to be crazy. Nikki says, okay, so thank you for that, Percy. 1111 is the side street where the entrance is. So it is Nice Guys NOLA. Cool. So it's headquarters by Nice Guys. So I was wrong and right and wrong and right at the same time. So 1111 is the Poydras Street location of headquarters by Nice Guys. Yes. The event is on Saturday. It starts at 12 p.m. The tickets are over $100. But for what I understand of the things that he's had before, they're a good time. So it's like 118. If you're looking to have some day drinking and some hangout, the food will be provided by Nice Guys, and it if nothing else, the food is going to be phenomenal. The food's going to be a good time. So down to the bar Nola with Funky Daniva and some other creatives that I know that are going to be in town. I think Bondi Blue. She's a New Orleans based creator who I follow as well. She went last year and she had a good time. I know they're gonna have some other celebs that'll be there. I think Tamar Braxton will be uh, in. He will be there on tomorrow. Also, I think Quad Webb from Married to Medicine will be there as well. And I'm not sure what other people that are gonna be down there, but there are quite a few celebs that kind of connect with Funky Daniva, and they're gonna be, having a good time. So that's that on that. Thank you, Percy, for letting me know that that is the address also to Nice Guys NOLA, because he said the red light district, and I thought that that was connected to Allison and Glenn's place. Thank you for clearing that up for me, for sure. Nikki says she's passed. Oh, wait. My grandmother always has something for every holiday. It was never about the holiday. It was all about getting together as a family. Absolutely. And she's passed, and my brother keeps those family traditions. We need somebody to do that in the families, because it seems as if families don't get together as often as they used to. I noticed that on both my mom's side and my dad's side. We don't connect as often as we used to as a child. And some people are spread out, but some people just like decided we're good. Jackie Wilmore says, when I think of the 4th of July, I think Essence. Not sure what events I will be attending yet. Well, let me know. Let me know. Josh says, if all else fails, just go to Caesar's Casino. You don't have to. You don't have to. And Coleman, you said that your wife hinted that what? That her company will be having a gathering over the weekend. Hopefully, she'll have the house sterile by the time I get home next week. Coleman, I have questions. We're going to have to talk about this because some of the messages that you give us about what happens when you leave your house, they are questionable. Yeah, it's not just me, Josh. You picked up on that too. I have questions. I have questions. I'm curious about that. Hey, Chuck Hunt, checking in from Monroe. Thank you for always tuning in when you have the time. Our Louisiana Yankee, we appreciate you tuning in to the Front Porch as we are having conversations throughout this time from 9 to 12 every day. So tomorrow, again, Graylin and I will be on the air. We will be on location at the convention center. So where some of the hosts will be off for tomorrow, we will not. We will indeed be working tomorrow during the day and possibly tomorrow night. We may be at the Superdome for some of the concerts. They've given us access to be able to do that. So we're looking forward to sharing the things that we come across. We are completely excited that as usual, we get access to new information. Of course, we'll be looking for the docs. They'll be sharing health information on tomorrow as well, and just all sorts of um, things that we don't necessarily get the trickle down for the information that's shared within our community. Yeah, we're looking forward to sharing with you the goings on in the Black community that extends outside of New Orleans. And Essence is always the platform or one of the platforms that allows us to share information. Something that Lauren shared from the Dewdrop Inn, she wanted to call attention to the fact that New Orleans is one of the places where rock and roll was created and developed. And I think that there should be some sort of roadmap where or how music has been connected through communities of ours, and that has been something I think that has been missed out. I know just recently they started creating a civil rights pathway and making that public information. The state has put different markers of landmarks that are involved in the civil rights movement, but we need that across a whole lot of different things with the music. That would be great to navigate, like how the blues was in Mississippi. You had the birthplace of jazz here in New Orleans, and different venues in those different places. Those people weren't just playing out on the corner. They had venues where they traveled and were able to convene and enjoy the music and each other and the times. It would be a good deal to have to see how our music traveled across the country, and that's through all of the cultures, all of the different genres of music, and how before there was internet, we were able to have just a sharing of music in public places for us. Uh, Many times just for us before the other people said they wanted in on it. So I'm curious to know if somebody will spearhead that project because the preservation of history and information is there's been a concerted effort to get rid of it, and we need to have a combat by having those landmarks and pieces of history, pictures, and storytelling and documentation to show that this wasn't something we imagined or something that is folklore, that these are actual things for sure. These are actual things. Nikki says, I used to love Essence. Now that I'm older and the demographics have changed, I'm not interested. The concerts aren't the same, the crowds aren't the same, so I don't go anymore. Yeah, I mean, we're not the average age of of those concert goers. Let me see. The average age of Essence attendees. Uh, let's see. The average age of Essence attendees is 44 years old. And let's see. If the average age is 44, I'm an outlier because I'm 48. So people who fall upwards or far below, that's 44. I would have thought it was even younger, but yeah, it looks like it is. Yeah, if you're outside of that average, you're one of the outliers. So that's kind of they're not kind of geared to that audience at all. It's just not. And as we get older, I mean, for me, the larger the venue, that's going to deter me from my desire to go because it's an effort to go to get there. Parking, waiting to get out of the parking lot, the travel to the Superdome. I mean, people do it for football games and whatnot regularly. That's never been a huge um, motivator for me. The venue, the larger they are, the more barrier to entry for me for desire. Not that I'm incapable, but if it's like I knew for the last 2 years that I had gone, it wasn't a deterrent because I had a desire to see who was performing at all. Cam said, 44 years old, not in my range. I would have thought the average age would be like 35. And Chuck says I'm 49, and which I will be 50 in November. Yeah, yeah. I, the average age is 44. I've fallen way out of that, and so it's not surprising that we look at it and look at the lineup. Some of the people I can appreciate, and some of the people I am not excited to go and see from the lineup. I mean, Jill Scott is always a draw. I enjoy her music, but I've seen her several times. And how bad do you want to see her? Or how bad do you are you interested in seeing her or those other people perform? That's you know, who's that interested? And see, if you like it, go do it. If you don't like it, you ain't got to do it. So it's all good. There's no pressure on that. We're going to take this break, y'all. Stay tuned to the Front Porch right here on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. Leaders of some of the summer camp sites forced to close because of non-payments have received some of the money they were owed. The camps were forced to end early, impacting hundreds of campgoers. The camps were sponsored by Lee Anderson, the stepdad of Pelicans player Zion Williamson. Bricolage says they received a check yesterday for 2 of the 3 weeks they were owed. Anderson says he also gave a check yesterday to Triads YMCA. Leaders at Hangout NOLA say they were told they would be paid sometime today. And today, we expect to get more information on that gruesome stabbing incident that took place near the Walmart on Chapatulas last month. Today, the NOPD says they will release body camera video of the incident when an alleged shoplifter, the suspect, stabbed himself to death on Jackson Avenue. And the Essence Festival of Culture officially kicks off today with hundreds of thousands of visitors making their way to the Crescent City. And local leaders say they will be safe in our city. Barricades and barriers are some safety measures visitors will see during the crowded weekend. New Orleans Police Superintendent Anchor Patrick says there will also be increased staffing during the weekend. This comes on the heels of the New Year's Day terror attack and most recently a high-profile jail escape. Kirkpatrick promised resources will not be tied up as they work with state and federal partners. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. Brandis Daniel is looking to boost diversity in the fashion world.
Department stores would carry hundreds
of designers, but less than 1% of those designers were designers of color.
That's Daniel speaking to Bloomberg about a realization she had years ago about the lack of diverse talent in fashion that led her to creating Harlem's Fashion Row. It's an agency focused on building a bridge between big brands and designers of color.
We donated over $1 million to HBCU fashion departments, thanks to companies like Gap. We've gotten incredible support from Nike and Nordstrom, and so many other companies have allowed us to be able to support these HBCU fashion departments as well as designers of color.
Through Harlem's Fashion Row, Daniel has forged relationships with popular brands and directly impacted young designers of color. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies the same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
Now there's a new way to take charge of your blood sugar. Introducing new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula from the makers of the nation's best-selling garlic supplement. New Garlic helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels with clinically supported levels of garlic, plus a custom blend of vitamins and minerals, and it's odor-free. Take charge of your blood sugar with new Garlic Healthy Blood Sugar Formula. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support and style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. You're on the front porch with WBOK 1230 AM.
Welcome back to the Front Porch here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. I'm your host, Kimber White Dupree, and on the other side of the glass is Imari Dupree.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm finally back, guys.
Finally back to the board, huh?
Yes, I am.
You done cycled a lot of people through that thing today.
Yes.
Good job. Good job. You did a great job. Congratulations. You managed well. I am proud of you. We are headed toward Essence tomorrow. This will be your first time with me at Radio Row because normally you are somewhere else. I don't even know where you've been the last couple of years other than at home or doing some other stuff while I be at Radio Row. I'm curious where or to remember where you've been over the last couple of years. But Nikki says, to be honest, they lost a lot of people when they took the super lounges and the whole lineup changed. I feel like it got worse and worse. I don't know. The tastes have changed. The ages have changed. The people who are buying the tickets will change because on average, I don't think I saw an average age of people who were in their 50s and 60s going to Essence ever. But 504-582-9422. Hey, Uncle Gray.
Hey, honey, what's happening?
We are chilling here on the front porch. This has been a day. We had a lot of company in two different areas today.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call before the show was over to give a shout out to Mari Dupree, who was handling the board by herself today. who I understand did an exemplary job. Some learning to be done. Nonetheless, kudos all around. Congratulations. And I wanted to say that before you guys got out of there for the day, all right?
For sure. Thank you so much for giving that, because she handled it. She cycled them people in and out and managed it. So yes.
I tell her like I tell her mom. That's what you're supposed to do. You know that.
Yes,
no,
sir.
Look, I'm giving you your props, but that's what I expect.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, kids. We'll see y'all
Absolutely.
soon, all right?
All right, Uncle Grace. Talk to you later.
Later.
And yes, he talked to me just like that. So there's that. Over time things change. The radio play. I know when I was a teenager and a young adult, I listened to a certain station. Now that I'm a certain age, I can only listen to those stations for a certain amount of time before the music start getting on my nerves. Um, and I would not have been a person who would have listened to a jazz station for a long period of time in my teens and early 20s. Not that I wouldn't listen to the music, but that wasn't what my interests was at the time. And now that I am a ways away from my 20s, um, I would more likely listen to a jazz station longer than I would listen to your hip hop or rap or urban station, because that's not where my interest is anymore. I don't connect there. So over time, you expect things to change as well. So yeah, for sure. We that's how things tend to move. Yeah, that's how things tend to move. I pay attention to trends in clothes. I pay attention to trends in music, in conversations, in language. And if you had the ability of, or you've had the exposure of having conversations with people, certain language or certain words will stick with you. But if you don't, there's a disconnect, there's some things that people will say that'll miss you that you have to ask for clarity. So, um, but yeah, like 30 years later, it's supposed to look different. And a lot of the kids that are putting out music right now, I have no interest in it. Josh said uh we are definitely the 1990s. Yeah, and we're now we're the easy listening, the soft rock, the yacht rock, the R&B station listeners now. You can only hear that we can only hear that bounce music for a certain, and I was like that as a kid. I can only hear that for a certain amount of time before that start working on my nerves and I won't hear that no more. Um, but as events change, like if you chaperone a high school dance right now, what you would see at a high school dance versus what you saw when you were in high school would not be the same thing. When we were in high school, you saw a lot of people dancing. Some people stood around, but for the most part, people interacted with each other. Now you go to a high school dance or a high school event, everybody's on their phone. They're taking pictures. They're not really dancing for real, for real. Um,
It
and
depends where you go.
well, if you talking about you and your friends, but you can't say that as a whole, that everybody
As a whole, no, but
yeah,
it just depends where you go.
as a whole though, the culture shifted, and I hope that it'll get back to the point where people are dancing, because it is crazy to me that kids don't slow dance, but they don't really dance.
They won't let us slow down. I'm
How?
being so serious. Like if like for my both of my prom and homecoming dances, we can't do no excessive hugging. We can't kiss. We can't we have to be apart from, like, the boys and the girls have to kind of be apart from each other, which is like weird because like I want to be able to have that slow dance experience, but now my school's not letting me.
Yeah, I times have changed. Things have changed for whatever reasons that people have made those alterations to what rules were. Because I want to say that maybe in the 50s and maybe 60s, people used to measure the distance between people dancing, but by the time I got to middle school and high school, there was no such rule. Maybe there should have been, but uh, yeah, there are some things that have shifted, and uh, of course, things are cyclical. So maybe at some point things will change again. I don't know, but I know that with people having such distractions by technology, the interaction, socialization is definitely missing. Unfortunately, because it does take something away from people being able to interact with each other, have conversations where they're actually looking at each other versus entertaining themselves on their phones. But this is where we are right now. Nothing is forever. Something will change and it'll shift again. We'll see. We'll just watch, wait, and see how that goes. And I hope to see younger adults at least get the chance at slow dancing. Because, yeah, what is life without having a slow dance with somebody or a hand holding or something? Something. I want to thank you all for giving us 3 hours of your life and 3 hours of your life that you will never get back. Thank you for joining us in the conversations that we've had today. Your feedback is welcomed, and we look forward to seeing you on tomorrow from Radio Row at the Essence 2025. And you can check us out, of course, the usual time from 9 to 12 on Where Right Here on WBOK 1230 AM. What New Orleans is talking about all day long. Remember to complete random acts of kindness. Do something nice for somebody else because it's a nice thing to do. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we're going to see y'all on the flip. Have a wonderful day, y'all. Peace.